It's Jackie Robinson Day around Major League Baseball. Every single player in the game will wear number 42. But what he means to this game and the world goes much deeper. We'll talk about that a little bit later on as My Nine presents New York Yankees Baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim in the rubber game of a 3-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball. Along with Al Leiter, I'm Michael Kay. Yankees won the first game. That was a home opener. They lost yesterday 5-3. Now, the interesting story in this game is who's starting for the Yankees. So, before we get to him, let's take a look at the pitching matchup in this game. And it's brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. Scott Kazmir will go for the Angels. Coming up the DL, 10-9, 4.89. Phil Hughes goes for the Yankees, 8-3, 3.03. Last year, Phil Hughes, arguably, Al, one of the best relief pitchers in baseball this year. He's the Yankees' fifth starter.
Well, those numbers also had his starting numbers, but in the relief, he was excellent, as you say, Michael. 5-1 with a 1.4 ERA, just dominant. I think it's exciting tonight to see what he does. He developed a changeup during spring training. We're going to watch it closely. He's a 4-pitch pitcher. I think because of the changeup really was the difference why he did win that fifth spot. He's got great stuff. This is going to be a good night to watch Phil Hughes.
Now, this is the splits that I was talking about. As a starter, not that great. 3-2, 5.45. Then Chin-Ming Wang came back. They put him in the bullpen. 44 games, 5-1, 1.40. He was great as the setup man for Mariano Rivera. We mentioned it is Jackie Robinson Day, the man who changed baseball and at the same time changed the world. That's the impact that he had. We'll talk about that when we return right here on My Nine. He integrated the game on this date in 1947. That year he won the Rookie of the Year. Was the All-Star 6 times in the National League, and in 1949 he won the MVP of the league, and in 1962 he made the Hall of Fame. Now, the last player that will ever wear number 42 in Major League Baseball, Mariano Rivera, gives his views on what Jackie Robinson means.
It's an honor, a pleasure, and wearing number 42, being a last player and a minority also. You know what I mean? It's a tremendous challenge. You know what I mean? The legacy that Mr. Jackie left for us is tremendous. And, you know, me being the one that used the number or be the last player to wear number 42, I mean, it's tremendous. And I can not be more thankful from the Lord that I had the opportunity to be the one.
Jackie Robinson, first and foremost, baseball player, great person, great individual. Without knowing he was doing it, helped start the civil rights movement well in advance, even more before Dr. Martin Luther King. And not only did he open doors for African-American ball players, but as you look in the game of baseball and see that, you have Asian-American players, players from the Far East, the Caribbean, South Africa, throughout Europe, and everywhere else outside of the United States, that are getting a chance to play this great game. That's pretty much what Jackie Robinson is. And like I said, to start and finish it, a great person and great individual on top of all that.
Well, players come in this great game, but Jackie Robinson goes on forever. And today we celebrate that 63 years ago baseball was integrated. When we come back, lineups, first pitch baseball, that's coming up right here on My 9.
It's a burn.
Yankee Stadium, big crowd filing in for the rubber game of this three-game set between the Yankees and the Angels. Phil Hughes is taking his warm-ups. Yankees are throwing the ball around the infield and outfield. We're going to take a look at the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim starting lineup, which is brought to you by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Eric Ibar, the shortstop, leads off. Batting second and playing right field is Bobby Abreu. Torrey Hunter in center field hits third. Cleaning up and DHing Hideki Matsui. Kendry Morales at first base will bat fifth. Batting sixth and playing second, Howard Kendrick. Oh, very formal. Mike Napoli will catch. He's going to bat seventh. Batting eighth and playing third base, Brandon Wood. And Reggie Willits is at left field. He's going to bat ninth.
And on the mound, 23-year-old Phil Hughes will be making his first start of the year. He had some outings in spring training down in Tampa to get his work in. His last appearance, he had 85 pitches, got up to 100 pitches. You see his 2009 numbers, very good out of the bullpen, 5-1 with a 1.4 ERA. Let's take a look at the pitcher's scouting report. Well, I said fresh start. Well, I'm sorry. Take a look at the pitcher's scouting report. American Airlines, we know why you fly. We're American Airlines. Fresh start. It has been almost a year since his last start. Complete repertoire. Talk about the changeup, which we will do through the night and through the fire.
The first pitch is a strike, and we're underway.
And the through the fire, you know, having been brought up as a starter, and I believe what he experienced last year, being the setup guy to Mariano and the meaningful innings down the stretch, I think it's really going to benefit him as a starter.
Well, he won the competition for the number 5 spot. And now let's see how he does. This is his first start. And he is the last player that has been on an opening day roster that is going to see action in a game tonight, because Scott Kazmir was on the DL. There are others that started the season on the DL, but Phil was never put on the DL, never sent down. He pitched simulated games, and this is his first outing. So the last player on an opening day roster to see action.
Which is unusual to a point, and many times because young players have an option left, you'd see an organization option a guy down and be able to get work at the AAA level. Yankees chose not to.
And the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Ibar down on strikes. Today's closed captioning is brought to you by your local Lexus dealer.
I talked about the complete repertoire that Phil Hughes has, and much has been written and said about him throwing the changeup, which really set him apart from the other starters in spring training. This is just straight four-seam gas. Good fastball by Ibar. The combination, I think, with his fastball, curveball, he developed a little. His slider really turned into more of a cutter, and I think him being out there watching Mariano up close really has helped him, especially against the left-handed hitters.
There's Bobby Abreu. Now, you always say you want to try to get through the lineup throwing a fastball at least once. But in his case, because you want them to know you have the changeup, do you just drop it in there?
You know what? I think it's more, and we talked about this. I think for Phil Hughes, if he wants to really utilize that changeup, bring it out earlier. There it is right there. Meaning that because it's something that you've worked on, you want to not feel as though it's an emergency pitch. And when for Phil Hughes, he's fastball, out of the pen especially, fastball, slider, cutter, and curveball. Very seldom did he throw a changeup.
Got a good fastball so far.
Boy, that's sneaky right there. Not only sneaky, just good velocity, 93. We're showing 80. That was a fastball there. And this is unusual for Bobby Abreu, guy who takes a lot of pitches. So the second most pitches in Major League Baseball to Jason Worth.
Popped up. Alex Rodriguez will put it away. Fought that right into the glove for the second out. New York Yankees baseball is broadcast in Spanish. It's available by hitting the SAP button on your television. SAP is brought to you by Toyota. Toyota wants you to know we're working harder than ever for our customers. Toyota moving forward. Here's Torrey Hunter. You know the old adage that you hear at the ballpark since you're a kid? You can't tell the players without a scorecard. Today, a scorecard's not going to help. Everybody's number 42. You better know what the guys look like, or you'll have no idea who they are. Boy, is that fastball live upstairs.
Well, Torrey Hunter's been notorious good fastball hitter, but that ball is just too much for him. Watching the Abreu's at bat, now here Torrey Hunter swinging out of the zone. Being aggressive and talking about this Angel team that basically flat, what was viewed flat at least by the manager and Socha the first game. They had a team meeting and played a much crisper game. And also their approach at bats were a little bit more aggressive yesterday. And when teams are struggling and you get off to a bad start, it gets in between the ears and guys start thinking about it and you end up feeling your way through it.
.94-mile-an-hour fastball there for Phil Hughes. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Went upstairs with the heat. Retired the Angels in order on 13 pitches. The last one, a 93-mile-an-hour fastball up around the eyes. Angels nothing. Alex Rodriguez at third will clean up. Robinson Canó, the second baseman, bats fifth. Batting sixth and catching is Jorge Posada. Now here's where it gets a little different. Marcus Thames will DH. He's going to bat seventh, so Nick Johnson gets the night off. Curtis Granderson in center bats eighth, and Randy Wynn makes his first start in left field, and he will bat ninth as Brett Gardner, the lefty swinger, gets the night off against the lefty Kazmir. Let's take a look at Kazmir and what he's done. This is combined last year with the Rays and the Angels. 10-9, 4.89, about a hit per inning. And opponents hit 259 against them.
Well, let's take a look at the Los Angeles Angels pitcher Scott Report, brought to you by Empire City at Yonkers Raceway. The jackpot next door, health issues. He's coming off a DL. He had a hamstring issue coming into spring training. Left alone. How about this? His last 14 regular season starts, he hasn't given up a home run to a left-hander. We'll see here at Yankee Stadium. And reunited with his old pitching coach, Mike Butcher. Mike just said those numbers for the Angels last year, 1.73 ERA.
Off-speed pitch, Derek Jeter swings and misses.
And with Mike Butcher, who's the pitching coach for the Angels, his best year probably, you go back to 2006 when they were with the Rays, 10-8 with the 3.24 ERA, 163 strikeouts, 144 innings. It's been a health issue for Scott Kazmir.
Started him off 2 off-speed pitches. Jeter way out in front, count 0-2. There's Mike Butcher. Jeter last year hit .395 against left-handed pitching. And he's 4 for 36, though, against Kazmir. That's 111.
You know, Kazmir's been tough on most all of the Yankee hitters except Posada. Posada 11 for 25 with 1 home run. Just looking at the batting average against. Also, Teixeira has done well against them.
Swing and a miss. Fastball upstairs past Jeter. 1 away.
This is just 2 changeups, set it up, and then Derek fouled off a fastball and just missed it. Just by him. Derek Jeter. Now this is 9 games where he led off the first inning and not getting on base.
But he has hit safely in all of the Yankee games this year, just not in the first inning. Here's Nick Swisher. 1-0. Nice start for Nick. And the count 2-0. Kazmir traded from the Rays. They knew they weren't going to make the playoffs last year. They also tried to clear money. You know, they have a limited budget, so they've got to maneuver money around. Angels were looking for another starter for the stretch run, and they made the deal.
Yeah, and his numbers against the Red Sox, along with the Yankees win-loss, that's a big grade. There's a trade that Michael's talking about.
Sean Rodriguez is a part of the Rays team. There's a strike. And the 3-1. Rocking it. Oh, what a play by Wood. Turns a double into an out. Wood, who came up as a shortstop through the farm system, has great hands. And he showed it right there. That was a bullet off the bat of Swisher.
Absolutely. And just this is a reactionary position to begin with. But as Michael said, he's made a couple really nice plays here during this 3-game set. Just scoops it, the reaction, being able to track it as best he can. Struggling with the bat so far early on. Brandon Wood, big prospect for many years with not only the Angels, just in Major League Baseball. You can help your team all the way around, offensively and defensively.
Here's Mark Teixeira. He has 3 hits this year, hitting .097. And those 3 hits came in last Saturday's game. He's been hitless in every other game. And to tell you how impressive the Yankees' 5-3 starters, their 3 4-hitters, Teixeira and Rodriguez, are hitting a combined 182. And you see Mark 3 for 31 so far this year. And he's handling it very, very well because he's used to it. Through the end of April in his career, 241, a home run every 27.1 at bats, and then 297 the rest of the season starting May 1st on. 1 home run every 15.7 at bats.
You know, and it's all, I think we talked about it yesterday, Michael. When does it become where you just accept it or what you try to do to overcome it? And I think what you just said, I mean, you know, if he could even just have a decent April in his career, it just hasn't happened.
You know what's weird, though, Al? I think he's accepting this now. Yeah. He's not freaking out because he said, hey, I know what happens.
Well, I talked to Kevin Long, the hitting coach for the Yankees, and I said, well, would you try anything different? Because last year, coming in, new team, and he wanted to get off to a good start, and it just didn't work out. Ended up almost winning the MVP, and this year I said, well, did you do anything? He goes, no. It's almost like get it out of his head. If you're going to have a bad month, don't think about it.
Here's Alex Rodriguez. Whatever Alex hits now, and he's at 257, it's better than what he did last year in April, which was rehab a surgically repaired hip. So he missed the first 28 games of the year and still put up 30 and 100 home run and RBIs.
I come in here early in the day, and I watched Kevin Long with short flips along with Nick Swisher, and it was just impressive to watch a great player. All the major leaguers come out, but when they're struggling especially, they'll come out early. And Kevin was doing these 35-foot flips, Michael, and Alex was inside, wherever, but mostly on the inside part of the plate, just bombing them and hitting the ball well. And I know this is a drill that Kevin Long does to a lot of the hitters. Swisher and Canó was also part of it. You just don't fall out of bed and be a great player. There's a lot of hard work that goes into it, and they care. And when they're struggling or they don't feel right, Alex will be the first one to come out.
So Mike Butcher with a quick trip to the mound, and Kazmir follows with a strike. That one's driven deep to center field. Didn't get it, though, off the end of the bat. And Torrey Hunter is right there for the final out of the first. No runs, no hits, no errors. One man left on base. We played one at the stadium. There's no score. Yankees ain't. Thursday night, no score in the first. And Hideki Matsui gets a warm hand from the crowd. They continue to show him love as the Mitsubishi Motors scoreboard shows you no score because he hasn't gotten a hit against the Yankees, so they can continue to shower him with love. He's not hurting them. He's 0 for 9 over the first 2 games. Godzilla back in New York. That one is driven deep to right center field. Give me Chase Granderson on the run, on the track. See ya. Well, he does damage there. A solo home run for Matsui, and the Angels lead 1-0. Strange reaction by the crowd. There's a lot of cheering and some smattering of boos.
Well, as you say, it's bittersweet for a lot of these Yankee fans and also his old teammates. Obviously, they don't want that. He not only 0 for 9 for the series, Michael, he's been 0 for 12. He just broke 0 for 12 slump with that third home run of his season.
Kenji Morales has been tough on the Yankees in this series, 4 for 7. Here's Matsui's home run.
Just middle of the plate, drove it. And again, he was struggling, so for Hughes' sake, he's just trying to get in the at-bat. Certainly respects Matsui. Trying to go away. Posada setting up away, middle of the plate down, and it's a sweet spot for most any left-hander.
Morales grounds one to second. Nice play by Canó. Went a long way. Made the play on the glove side.
You know, it's a play for Robinson Cano, knowing the base runner as well. He did get to his feet quickly. Kenji Morales not being the fastest runner in the big leagues, but that's a very nice play. Gets good angle to it.
Nice play for a guy whose first name is in honor of Jackie Robinson here on Jackie Robinson night. Fouled away by Howie Kendrick. That's why Robinson wears number 24, because you can't get 42, because Mariano has it. The last player in baseball that's allowed to wear it was grandfathered in. So he wears 24, which is a flip-flop of Jackie Robinson's 42. Fouled away.
What a tremendous fitting tribute, and certainly Robinson Cano and many players that are minority descent that really appreciate and recognize what Jackie Robinson has meant to this sport and to this country. I think baseball has done a wonderful job with it.
I thought that what Curtis Granderson said on our segment 2, that when he broke the color barrier, and there's Jackie's widow with Robinson Cano, that's Rachel Robinson, he said that he really started the civil rights movement with that, even before Dr. Martin Luther King, and he did. I mean, it was a world-changing thing that happened, not just a major league-changing thing. Kendrick is caught looking for the second out.
Big old curveball. So far early on, the Angel hitters have been very aggressive, getting a fastball from Hughes and giving it a good rip. And that curveball, good break. He tried as a pitcher to get as much from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock. And if Phil Hughes is on, it's a very tough pitch to hit.
Here's Mike Napoli, 1 for 9 so far this year. No bite on the breaking ball. Now, Phil Hughes won the battle with Sergio Mitre, Chad Godin, Alfredo Aceves, and the most high profile of the group, Jabba Chamberlain, to win this number 5 role. Now, did Phil pitch the best in spring training? Not really. He pitched okay. But if you listed them in order in terms of how they pitched, you'd say number 1 was Mitre, number 2 was Aceves, number 3 was Phil Hughes. Jabba Chamberlain was probably in a flat-footed tie with Chad Godin, who ended up getting released. But Phil got it because of the appearance of the changeup, and they also kept telling me he really can locate the fastball, and that's the key. They felt that he could locate a fastball. He did it last year out of the bullpen.
Well, you know, also, too, just doing the scout report, 23 years old, it seems, you know, now as a Yankee fan, he's been up for a couple of years and been around. You almost think of him as, not a veteran guy, but been around for a while. At 23, he's still just a kid. And stuff-wise, I know Sergio Mitre had a good spring, but Phil Hughes has got great stuff. And the stuff doesn't always translate into success, but I think what Phil Hughes experienced sitting down in that bullpen, being around a guy like Mariano, eventually setting him up, having really meaningful innings, high-pressure, stressful pitches in the sense of 2-1 close ball games to set up to have Mariano close it out. It has helped him. And then now he's developed a changeup where we'll see how much he introduces it today, but it just makes him that much tougher.
The 1-2.
Like Posada got crossed up there a little bit. That ball was more of a cutter. From Posada's reaction, it looked like he was looking for a curveball.
Swing and a miss. Breaking ball right there. So 4 strikeouts for Phil Hughes, but he made one mistake. As he talks about the honor of being named after Jackie Robinson. Casimir deals outside 1-0. 1-0 Angels on the Mitsubishi Motors scoreboard, brought to you by Mitsubishi. Test drive one today at the Dare to Compare sales event. That one is drilled deep to right field. Going back to Breyer, looking up. See ya! There's a way to honor Jackie Robinson. Robinson Canó goes yard to tie the game at 1.
Boy, did he put a charge into this one. Fastball, middle, turning, showing a lot of power early on. 3 home runs. We talk about the honor of Jackie Robinson and how fitting for a guy who was named after him. Just get the heater and spinning. Beautiful swing.
Boy, that was a laser. That home run now gives Canó a 9-game hitting streak. And he also has an extra base hit in 5 straight. I'd smile too. Big year, being moved to the number 5 spot in the order. More responsibility, more opportunity. And this could take him to the next level of stardom. So many people think he's got the talent to excel at that level. Well, now he has the opportunity in the number 5 hole.
There's no question about it, Michael, and anybody watching. I mean, it's what he's done hits-wise and RBI. I mean, a couple of years ago, almost got a batting title batting number 9, and to push him up as protection for Alex in the 3-4 spot says a lot about where they think he is maturity-wise to be able to handle it. And it's not about his not having the talent. Of course he has it. It's about having the plan and knowing what the pitcher has and what the situation is. Seeing more pitches.
The 2-2. And he also works at it. You can have talent, but if you don't work at it, it's not going to grow. And he was in the early group today with Kevin Long. We spoke about that earlier. A couple of years ago, he kind of fell under the wing of an Alex Rodriguez, and they got to the ballpark much earlier than he had to, worked out with Rodriguez, kind of got onto that program, and he continues to grow as a player. 3-2 to Posada.
And with Robbie, and I think it's lost a little bit, Michael, with just sometimes you forget that it's fun. And you mentioned about his smile, and he's really very affable and always hello and very kind and cordial. And he has a good time. And I think that combination where you have a great talent that has fun and it all meets together with maturity.
High fly ball, right field, toward the line is Abreu, and he'll make the play. They say it's a fair ball, so he makes the play in fair territory for the first out. Starting to rain a bit here at Yankee Stadium. It's in the forecast for later tonight, but as Yogi would say, it's getting late early as the rain starts to fall. Here's Marcus Thames. Marcus getting his first start as a DH today as the Yankees try to load righties against the lefty Kazmir. Last year against the Yanks, Kazmir 2-1, 3.20. Career 6-5, 2.67.
Tim's being the extra outfielder / DH. This is his role, coming in against some tough left-handers, and has done well against left-handed pitchers in his career. It's just a matter of Joe Girardi being able to get him enough at bats so that it doesn't get rusty like any reserve role player.
Count 2-2. Yeah, that's a real balancing act that a manager has to play. If you want a guy to contribute off the bench, you've almost got to start him every now and then. If he becomes stagnant on the bench, and then you say, "Oh, you've just missed 10 games. Now go up and get a hit against the closer."
Well, he hasn't played in 4 games.
3-2. Driven deep to left center field. Going back, Hunter. Still back, looking up. It's off the wall. Timms thought it was out. He slowed down, and he hustles into second with a double. He thought the ball was out, went into a home run jog, and then saw that Torrey Hunter played the carom right over the 399-foot sign.
Well, he's shaking his head. He knows he's got to run, and I'm sure he's going to hear it from Joe Torre right about there. Maybe because of the glass, he saw it bounce, but speed up. You better get there in second. You'll be in big trouble. Watch here. When it kicks up, I think when he picked his head up, he saw... Who knows?
So you think Joe Torre, the manager of the Dodgers, would have yelled at him?
Did I say, oh boy, I'm glad you said that. Joe Girardi.
I mean, Torre wouldn't like it, but, he's 3,000 miles away. Hot shot to short. And they get Granderson for the second out. Hey, tomorrow night, CM Punk claims he's a savior, but Rey Mysterio is no believer. Don't miss a second of the action on the next WWE SmackDown tomorrow night at 8 here on My 9.
Even Joe the plumber wouldn't like that. All the Joes. No, but you saw his reaction. He knows.
Not making an excuse for Tim's, but when you have a white background or a clear background, sometimes it's hard to see where the ball is. And if you look at the pitcher that was sitting there, you may believe he was going to catch the ball. Now, I don't know if that's all the stuff that Tim's is processing. He was running hard to first. When he rounded first, he thought the ball was over the wall. That's why he broke it down. I don't think he was styling out of the box. Randy Wynn takes a strike. So Wynn getting his first start. He's seen some action relieving Nick Swisher. Here's how it hit the wall. Kind of disappeared for just a moment. And he lost it. Sometimes you lose it and make mistakes. I don't think that was a lack of hustle. The 0-1. 1-1. Randy Wynn, last couple of years, last 4 years with the Giants. Didn't have a great year last year. A free agent, signed with the Yankees. Switch hitter. That's what he did last year in San Francisco. Very low home run total. He's not a home run hitter, but he's usually a double-digit guy. The power went away. And he's a player with the longest tenure in the major leagues now to have never appeared in a postseason game.
Well, he's in the right place for that. Be able to get a good shot here with the Yankees. He's been a defensive replacement late in the game. Joe Girardi's put him in right field. He's only got 2 at-bats. He's been in 7 games. Again, another balancing act with Randy Wynn and also Marcus Timms for Joe Girardi. And you say balancing act because these guys were starters. You know, there's some role players. I play with Lenny Harris or, Eisenreich, back where guys were they were bench guys. Joe McEwing, or, pick your guy. But when you get a guy, Timms, who primarily was a starter with the Tigers, and Randy Wynn was a starter with the Giants, and now you're relegated to playing every 3 or 4 days. It's tough.
Count 3-2. Wynn did play well last year with runners in scoring position. He had .319 in these situations. We're in the second inning, and this will be the 40th pitch by Kazmir. 3-2. Cowboy. Now, you've always told me that pitchers are kind of bred, for lack of a better word, or trained to throw 15 in an inning, right?
Well, if you take it over, course of a game, that's about the number where, you train it to get, if you get a scoreless inning and you can do it in less than that, that would be fantastic. But that's about the number where it'll put you close to that 90 mark when you get into the 7th inning.
Three-two. Grounded to third. Wood. Did he get him? Yes, he did. Looked like Morales' foot had come off the bag, but he kept it on long enough to get the hustling win. But the Yankees tie the score on Jackie Robinson Day. Robinson Canó goes yard to Stadium. A little drizzle falling as Brandon Wood will lead off against Phil Hughes. Nice breaking ball strike to start it off. 0-1. It'll be Wood, Willits, and Ibar. Now with Willits in the lineup, you got some speed. This is a guy that gets around the bases. But I talked to Mike Scioscia today. He said, we're going to have to do things a little bit differently with the Angels. He said, we don't have those guys as much as we did in the past where we can create things on the bases. He said, we're going to have to hit. We're going to have to hit the ball. The people we have in the lineup, we're going to have to hit the ball to drive people home. So I don't think, Sean Figgins is gone. They're not just going to be the type of team that's going to steal, hit and run, go first and third all the time. I still want to be aggressive, but you can only do what your pieces allow you to do.
And he's done such a great job, Scioscia, in taking his team and figured out what works and fundamentally sound. He's talked about often about his clubs over the years. Pitching and defense has been their strength.
Check out the out-of-town scoreboard. It's brought to you by Acura. Acura Advance. A lot of games today. Cleveland beat Texas 3-2. Minnesota shut out Boston 8-0. Francisco Liriano pitched very well. Foul back.
We're talking about
over the White Sox.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
Baltimore and Oakland starts at 10:05. Houston beats St. Louis 5-1. Milwaukee over the Cubs 8-6. Washington beats Philadelphia 7-5. Philadelphia beat up on them yesterday. Mike Pelfrey 7 strong innings. Mets salvaged the final game of that series 5-0. And Atlanta leads San Diego 2-0 top of the 4th. No score Reds and the Marlins. Popped up sky high. Jeter makes the play. 1 away. That Astro win that I told you about, 5-1 over St. Louis, that was their first win of the year. Can you imagine that one year the Orioles started off 0-21? You're done.
Yeah, you're done.
You're just done.
Were they 1-8?
Well, 1-8 now. There's Reggie Willits. I asked Scioscia today, you know, he's considered by many to be the best manager in baseball. I said, are you the best manager in baseball? And he goes, nah. He said, there are a lot of people smarter than me. He said, I'm just in a great organization where they give me good players. And he said, I've been lucky enough to be here a long time, and I have a great owner. He said, that's what makes us good. He says, I'm not the best. I think he's just being humble. A lot of baseball people think he's the best. How about this stat? Shows you how transient this profession is. This is his 11th season with the Angels. He's one of only 30 managers in the history of baseball that have been with one team for 10 years or more.
Boy, the Dodgers kicking themselves.
Yeah.
Right down the freeway. As a coach with LA. Dodgers.
Fans, now use your chance to take on Russ. Which American League team do you think stands in the Yankees' way of going back to the World Series? Is it the Red Sox, Rays, Twins, or the Angels? Text your answer to 71938 or go to my9tv.com. Take on Russ, brought to you by Toyota right after the game. So Hughes does something he doesn't want to do. He walks the speedy Reggie Willits. There's a strike to Eric Ibar.
Well, and Reggie Willits, you're talking about his speed. 38 of his 51 stolen base attempts. 75%, 38 in his career. 75%, very good ratio. Not only is he a fast runner, but a smart runner.
You know, used it so well out of the bullpen last year. Arguably as good a setup man as any team had in baseball. He was a very valuable Yankee. They had the choice when Chin-Ming Wang came back. Should we keep him a starter and send him down to Scranton Wilkes-Barre AAA, or should we try to use him in the bullpen? And boy, they caught lightning in a bottle because he just took to the bullpen. He was great. Automatic. A sub-2 ERA. fouled away. The only time that he really failed out of the bullpen now was in the postseason. Now, whether that was because of fatigue or just the pressure getting to him, he didn't pitch that well out of the bullpen. But he came to camp, and he wanted to be a starter. Last year as a starter, 3-2, 5.45. As a reliever, 5-1, 1.40. And opponents hit 100 points less than they do against him as a reliever than he did as a starter. Just was a different pitcher because he didn't need those other pitches. He could throw the fastball and occasionally drop in a curve.
Well, also, too, Michael, and we just saw that last pitch, throwing a cutter to the lefties effectively really negates the tougher left-handed batters because that cut fastball that looks just like a fastball coming in on the lefty cuts, as opposed to the slider going down and in, which is a danger zone when you're a right-handed pitcher throwing down and into the lefty. And I think that was another pitch that he added as a reliever. And then just the mindset, just his presence, get on the mound and just an aggressive look, kind of here I am, okay, I'm ready for you, as opposed to the doubtful look, deer in the headlight kind of appearance.
Grounded to Jeter. There's one on the first, not in time. Willits got to Canó quickly, but Canó still got rid of the ball. Ibar's just too quick.
I think with Robinson, Canó here, there's a little fastball down and away. Ibar banging on the ground. He's also a quick runner. Jeter making a good transfer right there for Robinson. Probably shouldn't have thrown it because of the speed of Ibar. Didn't matter. So far, 41 pitches into it, and Phil Hughes has primarily been fastball, curve. I got him for one changeup, which, other than the mistake to Matsui, really hasn't needed it. He's been on with his location for the most part. His second to last start down in the minor leagues, he was able to get his pitch count over 100. And then his last start, they backed him off to 85 just to get him in tune for this start here tonight.
And he did his between start work with the Yankees through his bullpens as if he was starting those games. Now, we had wondered on the air, why didn't they just send him down to the minor leagues and have another player up here, somebody who could contribute? And it all comes down to options. You can option somebody back and forth to the minor leagues 100 times during the year. But once you option them once, you've used up an option that you might not be able to use in a future year. So they don't think Phil Hughes is going to go down this year. So, God forbid, in another year they want to send him down. If he has a really bad time, they want to send him to the minor leagues. Well, they've used an option this year. They didn't want to waste that.
Smart, and if you got a team where you're not really in need of an extra arm or an extra bat, it's just another weapon or an opportunity. Well, hopefully not for the Yankees' sake and Phil Hughes' sake, that he just takes off with his career. And the point of what Michael's saying is that you get so many options. I think it's 3.
It's 3 years of options.
Yeah, 3 years of options. And once those options are up, that's why right now that the Angels are in trouble. They're carrying a third catcher, and the Angels think Bobby Wilson, their third catcher, wouldn't get through waivers because he's out of options. So now Sosha and the front office, they have a decision to make because you don't need 3 catchers, especially in the American League.
Runner goes. Throw to second. Not in time. Stolen base for Ibar.
Well, it was a good pitch for Ibar to run on Jorge Posada and Phil Hughes. It was a changeup. Off speed, gets a good jump, head down. Clearly just a straight steal. Outran that baseball. It's his first stolen base of the season. Good throw from Jorge. One of the couple guys on the Angels team that has the ability to steal some bases along with Reggie Willits. Bobby Abreu pick his spots even as he's getting older in his career. His success rate is always very good.
Bobby Abreu in the home opener for the Yankees hit a grand slam to turn a 7-1 laugher into a 7-5 nail-biter. Yankees held on. 3-1. Swing and a miss. The umpire's not saying it's a foul ball. The runner did not move from second, but Posada scrambled after it. But I guess the home plate umpire, Jerry Lane, must have indicated late that it was a foul ball. You tell me, was it a foul ball? Why would Posada run after it like that?
Didn't see or hear it, I guess. It deflected back to his glove. Immediately, Hunter Wendelstedt, I saw his hands go up, the second base umpire.
Let's see if we hear it. Yeah. Those two guys know what Posada goes through. Joe Girardi and Mike Scioscia. And the 3-2. Missed. Just missed.
Jorge shaking his head at Phil Hughes, wondering where that pitch is. Jerry Lane, the only one that matters there, the home plate umpire. Bobby Abreu has a good eye. Let's take a look here. This ball's cutting back over the plate. It has the corner. I don't know if it was down. Perfect.
Wow.
Well, from that angle right there, Jerry Lane, well, this is good right here. Is it high enough? Yes.
All right, after 2 2/3, tell me what your thoughts are on you so far.
I like it, and I like the fact that he's aggressive and he still has that reliever mentality or that look, Michael, that he's still attacking the zone. He's throwing more of a cutter this second time around now that these batters are getting to see him the second AB. First time around, primarily fastball curve. I've seen more cut fastballs. Hasn't thrown the changeup as much. I only seen 2. But I just like that look. I think you can maintain that here I come, I'm on the mound, I've got something for you. No hesitation, no doubt.
This is pitch number 50. Went up the ladder, tried to get him to chase. He chased in the first inning. .31 strikes, 19 balls, nice ratio. Rip foul.
That swing, the healthy cut right there by Torrey Hunter. You know, there's certain hitters, and Torrey Hunter haven't played long time, veteran guy. First time he won a Silver Slugger last year. This curveball, inner half. That curveball for Phil Hughes' sake, you want to make sure 1-2-0-2 curveballs. You want to make sure it's either down and away, out of the zone, because it's a chase pitch. The lockup curveball is if after many fastballs or you get to a 3-2 count where it's a surprise element that you throw. There, that's a good chase pitch right there. Now he's seeing it. Ripped the first one, pulled it foul. Almost, now that was a good take where you can see he tracked it. Wasn't really fooled. Once him stay back, he identifies it. Well, a little fooled out front, but knowing at about third of the way down that it's going to be off the plate. Roll out in front. He was fooled a little bit.
What do you go with here? 2-2.
The slower breaking ball would concern me a little bit. Maybe the harder slider breaking pitch away. He's got 2 spots. He can go upstairs with a high fastball, and then if he doesn't swing, come back with the breaking ball. See, now this is where I'd like to see at some point, because the whole wipe thing, you can communicate with your catcher without having to communicate or, what do you want, and let's get back to it. That's the time in which takes too much time.
Along with Al Leiter, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball right here on My 9. 1-1 game. Top of the third inning here at the stadium. Rubber game of this 3-game set. Right in on the hands with a fastball. Now, this would be a spot I would think if you really had confidence in your changeup to bust it out. But I don't think that he feels that good about that change.
No, I wouldn't do that here. Not in this situation. You know, the whole proverbial double up inside, was that a pitch that he was setting up for the breaking ball away? And let's see if he either double up in there again, nail it, and then it'll open up the outside part of the plate and you come back with the breaking ball down the way. Breaking ball down the way. Jorge getting up there, changing signs. There's many signs in the sequence. You see what Jorge's given, that, you know, the second base runner could also see that as well.
2-2. He got him. Nope, he foul tipped the ball to stay alive. What was that, a slider?
It was a little cutter. That more of it. The slider has a little more depth to it, and this is that cut fastball. Just bore it away. Nice pitch. Good corner. He's going to get across the seam, and just at the very end, just turn your hand in and cut it a little bit with your middle finger. Boy, this is a tough battle right here. The game and battle within the battle.
So he goes with the breaking ball. Okay, now it's 3-2. Now the runners go with 2 outs. His pitch count is fairly high for this inning. I think it's 28. The next one will be 28. So 8 pitches in the at-bat. This one will be the 28th pitch of the inning. That is 56 total. Dribbles it slowly to third. Alex Rodriguez. So Hughes wins that battle against a tough hitter. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the third. It's 1-1. For pregame. Then John Flaherty and I have all the action. Rangers Yankees tomorrow on Yes. Steve Martin in the crowd. Tonight's league leaders are brought to you by New York Lottery, Powerball. With Powerball and Mega Millions, now you have 4 days a week to win. Play big and play both. Nelson Cruz, American League home run leader, and he is coming into town with the Texas Rangers. Jose Guillen, nice comeback year for him with the Royals. And Vernon Wells, same deal. After wrist surgery, having a good start with the Blue Jays. Derek Jeter will lead off. And there's a strike. 1-1 game. We're in the bottom of the third inning. Jeter, Swisher, and Teixeira. And the 1-1.
Showing that Nelson Cruz, the Texas offense. Looks like that's going to be a tight 3-team race. I think Seattle's still going to be in it all year.
That one's driven to right field. Deep. Abreu back, looking up. See ya. Opposite field, solo home run. Derek Jeter. And the Yankees lead 2-1. Second home run in this series for Jeter. And a Jeterian swing, Al.
Oh, boy, you said it, Michael. The ball going the other way just stays on it. This is his inside-out swing. The ball just travels. The strength that Derek Jeter has against left-handed pitching, he's crushed it his career. Not so much against Scott Kazmir, but here in this at-bat. Beautiful approach.
Nick Swisher rockets one deep to center field. Torrey Hunter back. He's near the track, and he'll make the play in left center field for the first out of the third.
This ball off the bat, I thought this was, from the sound of it, stroked way over that Stanley sign. Obviously got up there enough for that wind to hold it up. Boy, that was a good cut. Just crawled up high enough into that wind. Obviously the largest part of the ballpark there, left center field.
Mark Teixeira walked in the first inning. Now remember how bad an April Mark had last year? Well, he's 3 for 31 this April. You know what he was last year? 5 for 31. So he's actually struggling a bit more this season. Popped up. And out of play. Now, Derek Jeter had 18 home runs last year. 13 of them came here at the stadium. And both of his home runs this year have come here at Yankee Stadium. And with the way the ball travels to right field, it's a perfect power alley for him. It's almost if he's a left-handed power hitter.
I mean, that's his best stroke, of going to right center field, and just for the entire career, for his approach to be able to fight that ball off and drive it to right center field.
How did he do against your cutter where you're boring it on his hands? Did he keep the hands and still take it right?
Yes, his lifetime numbers were good. I don't know if it's 395, but he hit me. Tried to get it in there, but if you keep it up and in, he's got that ability to still get enough of it to drive it to the opposite field. And if you get it down and in, most of the time he just took it.
And Teixeira works another walk. Well, is Derek hovering over your shoulder just like he used to? Let's see. Well, I'm getting this card right here, which will tell me what the numbers were. This is what Jeter was against Al Leiter. You want to read it yourself?
Ooh, 351.
No, not 351. 16 for 35, 457.
Now I know why he likes me. He didn't want me to retire.
To you, yeah.
I know the 2000 year he got the game-winning hit in the 2000 All-Star game off me. He got the MVP, and then I think he got a couple homers off me in the World Series.
Didn't he lead off a World Series game against you with a home run?
Yeah, it was Game 5.
You actually gave me the most incredible answer I'd ever heard on any of our broadcasts when I said, well, it was the first pitch home run. First pitch of the game at Shea, and I said,
was it first?
I think it was. And then I said, what was the pitch? And you said a changeup. I said, but if it's the first pitch of the game, you're not changing any speed. So he just thought it was a really lousy fastball.
And what was my answer?
You said, you're right.
That wasn't the first pitch of the game.
I think it might have been.
Right.
Well, you know better than I do.
No, maybe not.
I just announced it.
I'll tell you what. You know when a guy, and Derek, we show the numbers, and Teixeira's lifetime numbers against Casimir 600 plus, and you end up thinking or try to outthink of what you could do differently. Yesterday we talked about Javier Vasquez and the success of what Bobby Abreu has done against him. And then you start inventing stuff. So here, let me try this. Well, that didn't work. You know, and a lot of times, you know, we cite numbers and matchups, but the matchups do matter when there's significant body of work. And if it's just a couple of bats, you say, okay, well, what's the big deal, 1 for 3. But if you start getting them into numbers where, you know, Nick Swisher, going into tonight, he's 5 for 27, 185, or to share a 7 for 11. You know, these are numbers that the managers and the pitching coach and everybody, they're looking at matchups, especially with the matchup side of the bullpen. But there's a comfort level with success, or not.
Count 3-2 to Alex Rodriguez. Now, Jeter's Game 4 home run in the 2000 series was off the first pitch, but that wasn't against you. Game 5 against you, that was in the 6th.
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
Remember the pitch? Was it a changeup?
It was a changeup.
And Alex Rodriguez works a walk.
There's a 3-2 changeup. I mean, this is the kind of stress that happens with a pitcher facing the Yankee lineup in and out, day in, day out. And saw Pinheiro pitch a great game last night, but it's just the bats keep on coming, and guys they're relentless with taking pitches and making sure that the pitcher works.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Now, Casimir was on the DL, and he was on the DL with a right hamstring problem, so this is his first start of the year. And you wonder how much he has in terms of gas in the tank.
Well, he had a hamstring issue coming into spring training, working out, and then he ended up having some shoulder tightness as the spring went on, so they just put him on the DL. But, Scott has been a guy, coming up with the Mets and then getting traded to the Rays. He's had some elbow trouble and, kind of making sure when you have a young, talented pitcher as Scott Casimir, #1 pick in 2002 by the Mets, you take care of these arms. Try to.
Grounded to second. This could be 2. There's 1. And no return throw as Alex Rodriguez went in hard. So Canó rounds into the 4-6 fielder's choices. Teixeira moves to third.
Well, the transfer here for Howie Kendrick did not give Eric Ibar a good throw. It pulled him off enough. Ibar, I guess, figuring Canó was going to beat this ball out, just maybe bobbled it. Well, I don't know. He had some time there.
Boy, I wonder, and Alex Rodriguez will give him a pat as he goes by. You look at that slide, the umpire could say that Alex slid out of the baseline. I don't know if he was a body length away from second base, although I don't think that's what affected Ibar.
The throw was a little high from Howie Kendrick. You know what? You have a good... Yeah, you have to be able to reach the bag.
Posada grounds one left side. Backhanded by Ibar. Throw to second. They get the force. Nice play by the Angels shortstop. But the Yankees take the lead. How do they do it? Their captain. No, not Jackie. The Yankees captain goes to the other side of the field for a home run. 2-1 Yankee lead. active manager to win the World Series in his first postseason. Who are the other 4? We'll find that out in the bottom of the inning. Yankees lead 2-1 on the Chase scoreboard. And the scoreboard is brought to you by Chase. Now with over 15,000 ATMs nationwide, Chase what matters. Hideki Matsui, the only blemish against Phil Hughes, hit a home run against him in the second inning. There's a strike.
Well, through the first 2 innings, Phil Hughes had 28 pitches, 19 strikes, 7 swing and misses. Last inning, 28 pitches, same amount he had in the first 2 innings combined, and had 0 swing and misses. Doesn't necessarily always correlate with his stuff being less, but he is changing his pattern a little bit. That first inning, he was blowing away those Angel hitters with the high fastball. They're taking it a little bit more, waiting for him to bring that ball down.
Count 2-2. Posada worked him through some of that trouble in the third inning. The 2-2. In night games, Jorge Posada, you'll see, paints his nails with white out just so they're more easily seen by the pitcher. Sometimes you can't see it in the dark. The hands that go down and give the signs. (3-2). Fouled away on the left side, and A-Rod runs out of room.
Posada getting the fastball, trying to go away. That ball middle of the plate. Breaking it 0 for 12 for Matsui. His 3rd home run of the year, just missed location. You mentioned about the white fingernail polish. It's a scary thing for a catcher to think one pitch is coming and he gets the wrong pitch and cross up there.
Check swing on a high fastball. Did he go? No, said Dan Bellini. So Matsui works a walk.
Just went after him. He's been utilizing a couple changeups in a row, and Matsui was able to foul it off the previous pitch. I thought it was a good pitch, and that ball cutting inside and just getting under the pitch a little bit. That's where you see the ride where pitcher's elbow get underneath and push the ball slightly, as opposed to driving it down through the zone.
Yankees making an interesting choice here, and they know Matsui as well as anybody. They're playing behind him, so they don't think with his bad wheels that he's going to run. And it also gives Mark Teixeira a little bit more time to cover anything hit to the right side by the lefty swinging Morales. And he will drop back more as the pitch is being delivered. I think that was always a worry with the Yankees when it came to Matsui, wasn't it? They didn't respect his talent. They thought he was tremendously talented and tremendously clutch, as he proved in the World Series last year. They just didn't know if his body was going to hold up. They never put him in the outfield last year. In the 9 straight interleague games in the National League cities that they played, never started him. Used him as a pinch hitter in all the games. They just didn't feel the legs would hold up playing in the outfield. And the Angels have said they will play him in the outfield at times.
I believe he's already had a game out there. He's played 1 game.
Swing and a miss. Morales down on strikes. Matsui had a nice run with the Yankees. 7 seasons. 2-time All-Star. Look at the career average. 292 with 140 home runs. So he averaged 20 home runs a year. And he was the MVP in the World Series last year. Game 6, 3 for 4, double a home run and 6 ribbies. Played 2 World Series for the Yankees his first year. 2003 and then 2009. And he helped them win that 2009 World Series. Played a big role. Howie Kendrick takes a strike.
Said about him playing left field. He played last Thursday. It was the first time that he played in the outfield since It's June 15, 2008, 662 days ago.
That's a balk. Phil Hughes just forgot that they were playing behind him. And now I had seen Teixeira go up and tell Phil Hughes before Morales came up, I'm playing behind him. But Hughes forgot after that batter went down, retired on a strikeout.
Yeah, well, you said it. And the reason why you have to, the first baseman's got to run over first. Obviously, by that point, Teixeira was surprised. You can still have a play there, but the first baseman has to initiate the play. And then it's a timing issue. The pitcher throws over.
That one's driven out to right center field. Granderson makes the play. Now, what I'm interested to know, because I didn't see it, and I'm talking out of school here, I don't know if we have a replay. I wonder if Posada called that throw to first base, because usually the pitchers do not throw to first base unless they're instructed to. So where's the mistake come from? I'm sure the guys in the truck will look to see if we have that. I'm wondering if Posada hit his thigh, which is the sign to throw over to first base.
But, well, I don't know either, but I know that managers will call throwovers, but there are certain. I know Jim Leland, he didn't want us throwing over until he called for it, meaning the Posada sign.
No, Posada's not. It's usually the thumb the other way.
And pitchers will throw over, but you make a point that there are some managers that'll say don't throw over because manager will call certain step off, slide step, throw over, various assortments of ways in which to keep the runner close, and that's all comes from the bench.
Hot shot up the middle, and that balk is big if Matsui scores on this. Granderson comes up throwing. Here's the play at the plate. Matsui is out. Good throw by Granderson, and they don't get burned by the balk. So Napoli with the base hit to center. Granderson charges it hard and comes up firing and fires a strike to Posada, who's right there in front of the plate to tag out Matsui. Looked like Matsui's foot might have gotten in, but the ump says out. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Yankees lead 2-1. And Marcus Tim swings and misses against Scott Kazmir. On the Chase scoreboard, Yankees lead the Angels 2-1. That one is looped into left center field. It's going to dunk in for a base hit. So Marcus Timms is 2 for 2. Now, after closely studying the play at home plate, it looks as if Matsui's foot was in, but there's another matter to be served here.
Well, the Yankees caught a break here. Look where Jerry Lane is. Now, knowing that the ball is going to be in front of him and the play is going to be around on the other side, he's in bad position right there. Can't possibly see what's going to happen over here. He's peeking around. Just not in the right position. And these umpires as good as anybody in the world, but ideally he should have been more on the third base side. Good throw from Granderson. Nice pickup by Posada, but the Yankees caught a break there.
And the reason Matsui was able to get in is because it was a bounce. When you catch the ball, the glove has to move up a little bit from the momentum of the ball, and then he's bringing the glove back down. By the time he brings the ball back down, the tip of his foot, Matsui's right foot, had touched home plate. Hit sharply past the diving Morales and down the right field line. Marcus Timms hustling to third. They're waving him home. Here he comes. There's no throw. The throw goes to third. It's an RBI triple for Granderson. And the Yankees lead 3-1. So Granderson with a big hit against the left-hander.
Staying right inside the foul line. Now, Timms knows he's got to get on his horse and pick up the third base coach, Robbie Thompson. This ball's a hot smash. Now, watch the ball rattle down the right field line, and it looks as though Bobby Abreu, now he's getting on the horse, immediately pick up his third base coach when he touches, and then he's going to pick up as to whether he's going to run. Obviously getting waved home. Bobby Abreu took a little time getting that ball. It just didn't kick around the outfield wall to get to him soon enough. Aggressive running all the way around.
So Granderson, the king of the triples in spacious Comerica Park in Detroit, turns one right down the line into a triple here. He had 8 triples last season. This is his first this year. He had 183 against lefties last year. He's 4 for 12 this year against southpaws. Infield is halfway. There's a strike. The wind is whipping straight in here at the stadium, which would lead you to believe that there is some rain on its way into the ballpark.
Well, I hope you're wrong.
Believe me, I'm rooting for that well. Infield halfway. Foul back.
And the purpose of halfway, it's a read. Anything slow, obviously they're going to go to first base, but if there's a hot smash, they'll be able to come up on it as best they can and field it and go home. And also, too, it's a tough read for third base coach Thompson and also Granderson, because it is a read play when you have the infield halfway as opposed to either giving up the run or trying to preserve that by being on the grass.
Count 1-2. Well, with rain in the forecast and the wind whipping the way it is, it bears to remind you that you have to get through the top of the 5th inning if the home team is leading to make it an official game. Hot shot, diving stop by Kendrick. Granderson holds one away. Let's take a look at the answer to our trivia question, brought to you by Dodge. Joe Girardi, the 5th active manager to win the World Series in his first postseason. Who are the other 4? Ozzie Guillen with the White Sox, Terry Francona with the Red Sox, Mike Scioscia right there with the Angels in 2002, and Lou Piniella with the Reds in 1990. Not their first years, their first years in the postseason. Here's Derek Jeter. Now the infield comes all the way in, except for Wood at third.
Paid off that last hot smash by Randy Wynn with Willits playing, or Howie Kendrick playing far enough back. It was a read play by Granderson, waiting to see if the ball would go through the infield. Overall, Major League batting average goes up 100 points across baseball by having the infield in. Obviously, cutting down on the angle. Easier to get a ball through the infield.
How can you explain to me why halfway against Wynn and why all the way in against Jeter?
You know, I can only think that it's a situation where they're trying to obviously go with a scout report. My guess is now that there's one out, it's changed the scenario of preserving that run. And I also think maybe on Randy Wynn, based on a scout report, they felt the speed of Randy Wynn and Derek Jeter was the difference.
That one's driven deep to left field. Jimmy chases Willits. He's not going to get there. It's one hop up against the wall. Granderson scores easily. It's an RBI double for Jeter, and the Yankees lead 4-1. So Jeter, who has never really hit Kazmir in the past, 2 for 3 against him tonight with a home run and this double.
Boy, this is what tells you the kind of hitter that Derek Jeter is. He went inside out, opposite field home run. Now this is a hard slider that's coming into him. He's able to now pull his hands in and hook it or pull the ball as the ball is driving into his body as opposed to something running away. A very special hitter, and to be able to cover the plate and also the direction in which you hit the ball where the pitcher's thrown.
Entering tonight, Jeter was 4 for 36 against Kazmir. He's 2 for 3 tonight with 2 big blows. The pitch to Swisher is low. Nobody up in the Angel bullpen, but there is some stirring. Now there's somebody throwing.
Number 42.
Yes. Swing and a miss.
It's Brian Stokes.
So just the way he wears his 46 or his 42, you know, it's Stokes?
I think it's Brian Stokes, yeah.
I wonder if sales of scorecards go down on this day around baseball because they're useless. And it is Brian Stokes, Al, you're right. I mean, does the scorecard that you buy at the ballpark, everybody says 42?
Today?
Now, the media hands out a scorecard every day, and everybody that's listed is number 42. The 2-2. Hit sharply to short. Ibar gets Swisher for the second out.
Loves playing the game. Many do, but plays it as well as Derek Jeter's done for so many years and has a good time doing it.
Teixeira fouls it away. Teixeira is 0 for, well, he's not 0 for anything today, but he's 3 for 31 on the season, but he has 2 walks today. One of the pagers today remarked that Mark is thrilled that April is not one of those months with 31 days. The only hits that he has gotten this year was in the Saturday game against the Rays.
So, you know, this pitch is away from him. You know, it really is something when it becomes a mental side of a guy's performance. A great hitter, a great player. You get out of your game and do things you don't normally do. Meaning swing at pitches out of the zone that, you know, not really get into your typical swing in certain areas of the plate in which you have a plan. You're looking for either certain areas or certain pitches. Start swinging at balls.
2-2. Teixeira loves to hit against Casimir, 7 for 11, so he sees the ball well out of Casimir's hand. 636. Swing and a miss. So now he's 7 for 12 and 3 for 32 on the year. But the Yankees get 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 man left. On My 9 is brought to you in part by Mercedes-Benz, located on the web at mbusa.com. Verizon Wireless, America's largest 3G network, and by Blimpie, America's sub shop. Brandon Wood leads off, takes pitch high, 1-0. So Phil Hughes has himself a 4-1 lead here in the rubber game of this 3-game set. Yankees need these 3 outs to make this game official. And there's a strike. Count 1-2.
You talk about prospects and Phil Hughes now getting an opportunity. Brandon Wood was a guy not only for the Angels. 2005 Sporting News Minor League Player of the Year, the Angels top prospect in the last 2 years, or 06-07. Now given the opportunity, but Figgins not there, that you got to do it. At some point, the prospect label is taken off. Obviously, you can't be a prospect forever. And you got to start producing at the major league level. He's got a lot of talent. Showed it defensively so far early going in this season. He struggled with the bat. The club obviously likes them. For him to be inserted as a third baseman.
And Socha was telling me today, Al, I have no doubt that this guy's going to hit. None. He said, and we know that he could play anywhere in the field and be successful at it. And he has to hit. I mean, Socha has to believe that because he's replacing Sean Figgins. He's not the same sort of player as Figgins. He's actually a better average hitter if you look at his minor league stats. It just hasn't translated up here.
You know, the last couple of years in Salt Lake City, 293 and 296 respectively in 09-08. Ran with some power, 31 home runs a couple of years ago.
High fly ball. right field. Nick Swisher. One away. Monday night, a vampire out for blood and a murder victim who really bites. It's the case that has detectives saying, fangs for the memories? Don't miss back-to-back episodes of Law & Order, Criminal Intent, Monday night starting at 8 on My 9.
Fangs for the memories.
I don't write it out. See, the rain continues to fall here in Yankee Stadium as Reggie Willett steps in. The 0-1 outside. Take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Hyundai. Think Hyundai, but act now for special deals at your Hyundai dealer. Minnesota wins that series against the Red Sox with Liriano pitching great. Their first series at Target Field.
Pitching right there. Get out of there.
St. Louis gives Houston its first win after 8 losses. Mike Pelfrey, strong outing for the Mets. And the 1-2.
Boy, that NL East, the Phillies look like they're going to be a strong club to keep pace with. Marlins, Braves, Mets.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Got him. Willits down on strikes. 6th strikeout for Phil Hughes.
Beautiful pitch. It's a cut fastball. The ball just rising, choke it at the very end. Little tight pressure on his middle finger. Quickness. I like that pitch, especially the left-handers. It really keeps a lefty off that looking away and then dropping the barrel of the bat on the breaking ball going down and in. There's a big old hook.
Ibar showed bunt. Pulled it back.
Girardi said he'd get him right around the 100 pitch mark. Get out of this here, maybe get another inning. You don't want to push too close to that 90-ish number if he's only going to be able to throw another 8-9 pitches. Or whoever comes in after. Unless he's pushing maybe 110, depending upon how it plays out.
Island and Girardi both said separately before the game that they go 100 to 110 with Hughes. The 1-2 just missed.
This ball looks like a good pitch.
That's low.
Maybe down.
Well, it's so interesting watching games with you and O'Neill. It's like two different people.
No, you're right. I want
two different eyesights.
Well, they talk about speeding up the game. There's how many highlights do you watch where a guy, there's pitches that are out of the zone that hitters will crush.
But Al, that ball was low.
He's not the tallest guy up there.
I understand, but it was below his kneecaps.
You didn't see that on that.
All right, you tell me. Take a look.
A little side shot right here. Let's see if it crosses the knees. That's a strike.
Yeah. Here's the 2-2.
It was a good angle.
Now, when you saw the center field angle, it looked much lower, didn't it?
Yeah, because that's higher.
Well, maybe the camera was lower. It was lower then.
No, that's knee high right there. That shot right there is knee high. You can see that.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the 5th. 4-1 Yankees lead. Hughes deals. And the count full of 3-2. 90 pitches for Hughes.
Well, you got a speedster. You're up by 3. You're going to throw a fastball somewhere in the outer part of the plate and see where you can hit it. You don't want to walk him. No, you're going to throw a curveball down the middle for a ball.
So a walk to Ibar. And that walk might almost ensure, even if he gets out, Abreu, that he's not going to pitch the 6th inning because, as Al said, I'm not going to bring him out there for a batter or 2 before he gets to 105. But we'll see how long it takes to get out of Abreu, who takes a lot of pitches. Nobody's up in the Yankee bullpen. Some movement out there. Sergio Mitre either stretching or thinking about a tryout with the Rockettes.
Phil Hughes ended up choosing to go with a 3-2 curveball. That may have been down. But it is the big break. He's got a big curveball, 12-6er. So it's not where the catcher catches it. It's where it crosses the plate.
I look at this start for Hughes, and Hughes starts this year as not only important for this season, but not to be too dramatic, and certainly I hope I'm not leaking into hyperbole. I think it's important for the next couple of years for the Yankees. I mean, Javier Vasquez is a free agent. Andy Pettitte is always threatening that this could be his last year, and one of these times it's going to be his last year. So if Phil Hughes has a good year, he slides right up to the number 3 spot in the Yankee rotation next year. If he doesn't, then you have to second guess, and you might have to go out and get 3 starters next year. That's hard to do.
Well, also, too, you make a good point. Granted, this is his first start, and we're in April, and Andy Pettitte, 37 years old, and, you'd like to do it forever, but it just doesn't work that way. But we're talking about a guy, Phil Hughes, the reason why he was the number 1 pick a few years ago by the Yankees at a high school down there in Santa Ana, California, is that he's got front-end stuff. You draft a guy and you base it on, he's going to project to be a 4th starter, a 3rd starter. I think his stuff can project him higher than a 3. I believe that, just based on his overall makeup. So, yes, that's a legitimate point.
And absolutely, 1 and 2, they're filled for a while with Sabathia and Burnett. You want somebody to slide right in there. And it's hard to get pitchers.
Develop pitchers, too. Starting pitchers in the minor leagues and develop them, come on up, and be an integral part of the organization.
Mitre's preparing to get ready. Abreu taking his time.
Well, it's a big pitch for the Yankees and also Phil Hughes, which probably this will end his night, this inning.
Count 3-1. Now Posada wants to have a talk with Hughes. Wind really whipping up here at the stadium. Hey, you traveling this season? Take the Yankees with you. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Yankees game live or on demand on your computer. Visit Yankees.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. Those championship flags almost seem as if they have starch in them, straight out, powered by the wind. And now the count has worked to 3-2. That'll release Ibar at first. 3-2 and 2 outs, and the rain seemingly intensifying here at the stadium. strikeout with a use chant. 3-2. Lined into center field. Granderson will put it away. It's an official game here at the stadium. So if it's going to rain, the Yankees don't mind because they're leading 4-1 as we are halfway through on my 9. And a king of Queens doubleheader at 7. See what trouble Ray and Doug get themselves into weeknights here on my 9. Two guys hanging out watching the game. And one guy in the batter's box. That's Alex Rodriguez. Scott Kazmir still in there. Line drive down the left field line. It's a base hit. And it rifles into the corner. Played out there by Willits. And Alex Rodriguez leads off the 5th with a double.
Boy, that's the very pitch that he was working on early BP today. That ball inside, pulls his hands in. That ball's cutting in. Now, that's not a straight fastball. The hard thing for a right-handed batter to do is to keep this fair. He's got to pull his back elbow in, pull his hands in. Look at that. That's beautiful right there. Now he's got the barrel of the bat on the ball. And with Alex Rodriguez's strength, he's able to power that through past the third baseman. Nice swing. Good approach. Early on, Kevin Long was about 35 feet, just throwing it underhand as hard as he could, just firing it on the inside part of the plate.
4-1 Yankees, bottom of the 5th. Here's Robinson Canó. He's 1 for 2. The one, a screaming line drive home run into the short porch and right in the 2nd inning. Breaking ball by Kazmir. There's a strike. Well, you could hear the wind whipping through our microphones. It would take a gale force shot, Al, to get a ball out to left field, I would think, the way it's blowing in. The 2 home runs we've seen have been, the 3 have been to right.
You know, this is where, and I've only pitched, I remember one specific game in Wrigley Field in Chicago where it was galing in, and you have to have the nerve as a pitcher to say, okay, you can throw that medium fastball up in the zone on the outer part of the plate because that's the farthest part for someone to hit it out, as opposed to pulling it and just let him hit a long fly ball in center.
Did you ever do it?
Yeah. You know, it worked. I remember Moises Alou was with the Cubs at the time, and Ramirez. And Sosa, just left it out, and it looks good. It's kind of like what Catfish Hunter used to do. He'd throw that little cutter to the righties, and it looks very meaty up and away. Just allow them to hit a long fly ball to center. But I'm talking about like up and away zone for a strike. and allow them to elevate so that they think they can hit it out. If this wind is stiff enough for that.
Wrigley Field, from what I've heard, plays like two different ballparks according to the wind. Don Zimmer, when he managed there, lived in a building that was beyond Wrigley Field, but he could see Wrigley, and he'd get up in the morning and he could see one flag, and he knew if it would be a 10-9 game or a 2-1 game. He said it always played true to the wind.
Yeah. No, it really is. On some days, it's really remarkable. A ball that looks like it's center fielder catches, shortstop's catching.
That one is driven deep to right center field, giving chase Abreu. Looking up, see ya! The second home run of the night for Robinson Canó. This one a 2-run shot as the Yankees lead 6-1. The guy named after Jackie Robinson doing the name proud tonight. And that's going to do it for Scott Kazmir.
Forget about all that wind stuff. Right field. This is a smash ball. 3-1 count. Already a home run. 4 home runs on the season. This is out of here right when he hits it.
2 home runs tonight for Canó. Yankees feel good. 6-1. They are up. Changing pitchers for the Angels. We'll be back. You on April 15, 1927, Babe Ruth hit his first home run of the season off Howard Emke, and it was the first of his historic 60 home run season. That is this date in Yankees history. Mike Scioscia makes the call to the bullpen, brought to you by Verizon, Fios, TV, Internet, and phone. This is Beyond Cable. This is Fios. And Brian Stokes comes on in relief of Scott Kazmir. Kazmir's first start, not that great. Those are the numbers on Stokes. This is his 5th game. 6 walks and 4 1/3, not good for a reliever. Posada fouls it away.
Same scenario on the first game of this series. Stokes came in to face Posada. So Posada ended up getting a good low fastball, driving a double.
Six-1 Yankees lead. They won the first game. The Angels won last night. Nobody warming. You would assume that Phil Hughes is going to come out to pitch the 6th inning. So with Scott Kazmir going 5+ and giving up 6 runs, another bad start by an Angels starter, coming into this game last in the American League, 2-6 with a 5.30 ERA. And now with Kazmir surrendering 3 home runs, they've given up an American League leading 14 home runs. That one's grounded to first. And Kendry Morales will step on the bag. Posada never left home plate. 1 away.
Well, in addition to that, Michael, 14 regular season starts. Scott Kazmir's last 14 regular season starts never gave up a home run to a left-handed batter. Now here, too, to the hot Robinson Canó. So they've been giving up a lot of long balls.
4+. I said 5+, but 4+, 8 hits, 6 runs, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. He threw 87 pitches, but 3 home runs. And a strike to Marcus Timms. Timms double off the wall in left center. That was in the second. And single to left center in the fourth. Driven out to left field. Willits is there. 2 outs. Before the game, a really nice ceremony. Jackie's widow, Rachel Robinson, his daughter Sharon, with Joe Girardi
and company,
and his grandson, Jackie's grandson, Jesse Sims, throughout the first pitch. So, Yankees honoring the family of Jackie Robinson on Jackie Robinson Day. 63 years ago today, Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier as a member of the Brooklyn Dodgers. It is hard to believe that just 63 years ago, which is not that long, you could not play in the major leagues because you were a different color. And that actually happened in this country. And now 63 years later, there's an African-American man as the president of the United States. So this country's come a long way in a short period of time. And a lot of that was really jump-started by Jackie Robinson and what he went through and what he had to put up with. Remained stoic. Ignored the racial epithets thrown his way, and made history and changed the history of the world too, not just sports.
And the tribute now that Major League Baseball has embraced, and I love the idea. Everybody wears his uniform number to just stop and freeze time and recognize a great man and what it meant in changing the whole cultural experience here in this country.
And Curtis Granderson said before the game to us, it was the beginning of the civil rights movement. And opened the doors for all types of people that were different to play in the major leagues. People from the Far East, people from the Dominican, people from Australia. Now the doors are open to everybody. 3-2. High drive, right center. Abreu back, still back, looking up, and it's off the wall. Granderson's going to get himself another triple. Second triple in as many at-bats.
Perfectly placed here, right center field, right off the bat. Bobby Braid, I think he just either assumed it was going over the fence or conceded that he couldn't catch that ball. Wow, that would have been a heck of a play. That just short hopped the wall, and then right out of the chute, Granderson, a triples machine. He's got a 23 triple season in 2007 with the Tigers. So he knows it, smelling it.
That's his 5th 2-triple game in his career. You know how you want to explain all the triples he hits? Check out his first step out of the box. He's busting out of the box as if it's a ground ball into the hole at short, and then he never stops. I'd say most players, that's a double. Watch him bust out of the box.
Yeah. And again, having the speed, but also the instincts of knowing, hey, that I can hit triples. I've done it. The year that he had the 23 triples, 23 home runs, and also 38 doubles. In 26 bags. That's a heck of a year.
Ground ball to second. Kendrick gets win, and that will do it. But the Yankees get 2 more runs on a Robinson-Canó home run. It's been a big night for Canó. 2 home runs for the Yankees' second baseman. Equally impressive. Still you, still in there. Yankees lead 6-1. Here's Torrey Hunter. Now everybody's wearing number 42 to honor Jackie Robinson on the Mazda scoreboard. Brought to you by Mazda. Zoom, zoom. It's 6-1 Yankees. Torrey Hunter is wearing white and blue spikes, the colors of the Brooklyn Dodgers, to further honor Jackie Robinson. There's a strike.
Those are cool.
Foul ball.
Actually, because of, I'm sure, to honor Jackie Robinson, but yeah, let's see, 42. They'll allow him to do that. CC Sabathia, his first start up in Boston, was told by Joe West, the crew chief, to take off these gray shoes because they were out of uniform. You have to have at least 51% of your team. Now, they consider shoes as part of the uniform, as opposed to equipment.
Wait, so if 51% of your team
gray shoes, you could wear gray shoes.
But then how about the other 49%? Then they can't wear it. Then it's got to be 100%.
All right. Okay. How about 75%? It has to be a majority. It has to look. It can't be just one guy, so one guy's out of uniform.
But then if it's half the guys, then the other half's out of uniform.
I'll get the rule.
All right.
There's a rule on this. I'm not making it up.
That one is looped in the left field, a base hit for Torrey Hunter.
But that was why CC had to take the shoes off.
Those shoes can move. Now, if you remember the Oakland A's, the 3-time champion A's in the early 70s, they all wore white shoes, but they all wore white shoes.
And mustaches.
They got paid for the mustaches by the owner, Charles O. Finley. I think he paid him $500 to grow a mustache. The Swingin' A's, they were called. Reggie Jackson was a member of that team.
Holly Fingers had the coolest mustache.
Matsui, a solo home run on the second, the only blemish against Phil Hughes. Hughes had 103 pitches, so the Yankees are letting him go. They said they'd let him go to a 110. Looks like David Robertson out there throwing right now. And it is David. Last time out, David gave up that grand slam in the home opener to Bobby Abreu, much to the displeasure of Joe Girardi. Didn't like the pitch selection. The 1-1. Count 2-1.
Trying to get Matsui to roll over on a pitch. Change up is a good pitch to get a ground ball on a left-hander. Matsui's always been a guy that kind of leaked his front side. Really pulls a lot of balls. The only pitch he'll drive away is that ball up and away. That changeup running down the way, roll over on it.
Popped up. Wynn's going to take that right into the seats, and he does.
Well, Phil Hughes is at a pitch count that's getting to his career high numbers. As we said before, he was going to be between that 100, 110 pitch count.
And it bears reminding that Phil Hughes is going to be under some innings limitations this year. Not quite as stringent as the Jabba rules, but they would stop Phil Hughes at about 170, 180 innings. And a full-fledged starter could give you 200, 210. But they will watch Hughes closely, and when they can skip him, now he's already missed 2 starts because of the off days, they will skip him, and that's the way they'll do it. Rather than slow him down at the end, as they did with Jabba Chamberlain. The Yankee organization has really gone to school on the way Jabba was handled, and they'll pick what they feel was right about it, what was wrong about it. 3-2, runner goes. Ball 4, the throw is made anyway.
107 pitches was Phil Hughes' career high as a major league pitcher. Now he's just broken that with his 108th pitch.
And he's not going to throw any more, as Joe Girardi will signal for David Robertson. So Robertson comes in, and let's hear the hand that the crowd gives Phil Hughes, or what kind of views they'll give Phil. You listen, we'll be back. is 42 today. Every player in Major League Baseball wearing it to honor the memory of Jackie Robinson, who 63 years ago today broke the color barrier of baseball. Debuting for the Brooklyn Dodgers throughout baseball, number 42 was retired in 1997. And only one active player wears it now. 11 when the number was retired, but it's down to 1, and that 1 is Mariano Rivera. And after Mariano, no one will ever wear that number in the big leagues again. So Phil Hughes goes 5+, 3 hits, a run, 5 walks, and 6 strikeouts. He threw 108 pitches. And we'll talk about his outing as we move along. First, let's give you David Robertson against Kendry Morales. There's a strike. A little bit of an odd decision by the Yankee manager and coaches to let, and you see David Robertson's off the ERA in 4 games. That was because of the 4 runs he allowed in the 9th inning the other day. But why would you bring in Phil Hughes to pitch the 6th if you're only going to give him 10 pitches? And that's exactly what happened. Did you want him to get a 10-pitch inning, which is not going to happen because he walked a lot of people today? Kind of an odd way to approach it with him.
Well, the circumstance that could be played out is exactly what's happened here now. First and second, nobody out. You got David Robertson in, as opposed to either starting the inning, obviously not anticipated by Joe Girardi. But because of if that number was set at that 100-110 mark, he had about 10 pitches. So you were either assuming a real quick inning, or maybe 1 or 2 outs with Robertson coming in and nobody out.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. The ball gets away from Posada. The runners move up. Morales strikes out.
Great curveball by David Robertson. And you mentioned about his previous outing 2 days ago, David Robertson, about pitch selection. And, that's going to happen for all Major League pitchers. I don't care how many years you play. That is a beautiful curveball, 12-6. David Robertson's a guy, last year, struck out at least 1 batter in 38 of his 45 appearances. His second best strikeout ratio in the majors to Jonathan Broxton, the closer for the Dodgers, with almost 13 strikeouts per 9. And this kid has good stuff.
There's a breaking ball strike to Howie Kendrick.
Ultimately, pitch selection, yes, it has huge bearing as to how you set up a hitter. But ultimately, in the end of the game, it's about making quality pitches. And generally speaking, quality pitches are on the corner, breaking balls down, being able to throw behind the count breaking balls, fastballs like that, away, running away, cutting. He's got a good cut fastball, natural cut. And then you read a bat. Now, this is an example. Well, that was off the bat, 101 miles an hour. But this is an example of reading the bat. Now, he's way late. And granted, it's a fastball away, but you wouldn't want to speed up his bat now by throwing him a breaking ball. See what else he could do with a fastball. You can either go fastball in or fastball away. Yeah. And that's kind of the premise behind why they were upset a little bit with his pitch selection. If you got a guy off the end of the bat, outer half, and he's way late, and you throw him a little breaking ball, you did him a favor.
Now, how about if it's a slow breaking ball, Al, and they're geared up for the fastball? Doesn't that breaking ball have effectiveness then?
Yeah, but that's reading the bat. Now, if you have a guy who you throw the big slow breaking ball and he's way out in front, he hooks it foul over the third base dugout. Well, he's looking here, and he's way out in front, as opposed to being able to stay back and balanced. Now, this ends up being a good at bat. He fouled off the ball away. The pitch that he wanted to nail was that pitch right after the foul ball. Missed, and then he came back inside with a fastball. That's the go-to pitch right there. When you have a 2-2 count, ideally you want to have some sort of action ball that you put away for Robertson's sake, or just get the ball in play.
Grounded right side. Nice play there by Teixeira. And he beats Kendrick to the bag. Hunter scores. Moving to third is Matsui. And the Yankee lead is now 6-2.
Kendrick did a favor here. This ball was ball 4. It was a high pitch. See how far off the base Teixeira is. What an outstanding fielder. Scooping it, realizing that he's got a quick foot race to get to the bag. He's got good speed.
Now with Mike Napoli due up, David Robertson gets a quick walkthrough here from Dave Island, the Yankee pitching coach. Hey, come home to Yankee Stadium in 2010 to see the 27-time world champion Yankees in action. Tomorrow night, Yankees take on the Rangers, and it's magnetic schedule night. All fans in attendance will receive a 2010 Yankees magnetic schedule courtesy of AT For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Pitch to Napoli is upstairs.
Country hardball right there. Big swing by Napoli, who's been struggling, hasn't been playing a whole lot. 182 batting average. In the platoon with Jeff Mathis.
Matt Palmer getting ready in the Angels bullpen. That staggered Posada, grabbed there by Jerry Lay to hold him up. Let's see how it got him. I do not know how it doesn't knock you out.
Why you catch it?
I'm sure you're making a pretty good living at it, but I mean, I don't know how it doesn't knock you out.
It's a good pad on that. That's good, yes.
Two. Strike 3. Napoli down looking, so that's a good job by David Robertson. A nice bounce back from his other day of work. Angels score 1 on the Angels 6-2 in this rubber game of a 3-game set. So far, the rain is held off. It's an official game, of course. Phil Hughes started for the Yankees. David Robertson takes over, gets out of a jam in the 6th. Now, Matt Palmer is the third pitcher used for the Angels. You see what he's done so far this year. 9 hits in 7 innings, certainly not good. He'll face the top of the order, starting with Derek Jeter. All right, let's put a bow, Al, on Phil Hughes. Letter grade, how did he do today?
Oh, I would give him a B+ or an A. I think what he did, now the walk's a little high. I think that's somewhat of a concern, but other than the Matsui 1-0 fastball, I think he attacked the zone. He introduced his changeup a little bit, and if it wasn't for the walks, I think this was a really good performance. The fact that he didn't get through the 6th inning and the 5 walks, it gives him a B. I liked his approach. I think he had the same demeanor as he did as a reliever. Throwing some good curveballs. Fastball probably isn't where he'd like it mid-season. More in the low 90s. Whereas in the relief mode, he had some more of that 95+ stuff. I'm not saying that that's where he's going to go, but when you have the ability to possess that once in a while, you'll be able to crank it up there when you need it.
See Canó Park getting ready for the Yankees.
What do you think?
Well, when you said B+, I kind of raised my eyebrows. Well, that's a pretty nice grade for 5 walks in just 5 innings. I'd say B, B-.
Yeah, I mean, it was better than average.
I mean, it's a nice start to build on. You could see why there's an excitement about him and his arm. And, you know, the bottom line is keeping people off the scoreboard, and he did that. Gave up just the 2 runs. Not a quality start when you go by the definition of a quality start. 6 innings and 3 runs, but certainly not that far off.
Well, the 3rd inning the pitch count, the first 2 innings of 28 pitches, and then he threw the 28 in the 3rd inning, which didn't help.
Inside, count 3-2.
Talking about the Angels as a whole, I was talking to Orlando Mercado, old teammate and friend. He's the bullpen coach for the Angels, and he
foul tip held on to by Napoli, so Jeter strikes out.
He was going on about how they liked the arms and saying about, you know, overall pitching staff, and the loss of John Lackey, definitely there's a void in the rotation. And certainly Jared Weaver and Irvin Santana and Shield, or Scott Kazmir, he's got to pick it up. But he said, look, arm-wise, we like this bullpen better than the 2002 bullpen when they won the World Series, which were personal and Scott Schoenweis. K-Rod was a setup guy, Scott Shields. And they're just really leaning on guys like Kevin Jepson and Fernando Rodney, who had 37 saves, of course, with Brian Fuentes down. Less of the body of work, but arm-wise.
Well, the way it sets up, if you have Fuentes closing, and you have Rodney pitching the 8th, you got a closer pitching the 8th.
And Jepson has closer stuff.
And then you have Jepson and Shields actually getting you to your bridge. That's pretty good hard-throwing bullpen. Swisher hits one deep to right.
Which was his point.
I also threw the lack of an ace theory at Scioscia. They said, well, I can see why people say that. And, you know, Lackey's somebody that we're going to have to replace. He said, but what do they say? We have 5 number 2s? He said, I'll take my chances with 5 number 2s. He said, there are a lot of teams that have won World Series without that one big, dominant number 1 starter. He said it can be done, especially if you have 5 really good ones.
Mm-hmm. No, that's legitimate.
But he thinks that of those 5, Weaver could step up.
Saunders?
And he also said, and let's be honest, he said if Joel Pinheiro pitches like he did last night, the way he pitched against the Yankees, he said that's a #1 starter stuff too.
Saunders the last 2 years, 16-7 and 17-7.
Nick Swisher works a walk. Well, here are the moves they made in the offseason. They signed Matsui and Pinheiro, Rodney and Stokes. Stokes came over from the Mets in the Gary Matthews deal. The subtractions, Sean Figgins, Vlad Guerrero, John Lackey, Matthews, and Darren Oliver. Oliver's a loss. You know, that was a tough lefty out of the bullpen. But I asked, Scioscia why why the organization let him go. He said, well, we wanted them all back. He said, but it is a matter of finances and economics, and there's only so far we would go on certain guys. And he said they got out on the free agent market and they got better offers than what we wanted to give them. He said, but I would have loved to have had Figgins back and Lackey back. Mark Teixeira 0 for 1 tonight with 2 walks. He struck out in the 4th inning. The Yankees are trying to play with Teixeira's mind on the scorecard in the lineup card in the Yankee dugout. It's May 1st. So they're trying to tell Teixeira it's not April anymore, it's May 1st. Let's see if that works with him. He's got a 2-1 count. I mean, he is the very definition of April showers bring May flowers.
Tax day. In a couple more weeks. Tax.
He's worked 3 walks today. When you start seeing the ball better, then the swing usually follows. So identifying pitches out of the pitcher's hand.
Yeah, he'll take it. No doubt about it.
And Mike Butcher with a trip to the mound. He's been making a lot of trips to the mound since the beginning of the year. The Angel pitchers have not been great.
He did a nice job, Butcher did, with Tampa Bay, and came back to the Angels. He's done a very nice job as pitching coach.
Take a look at the Yankees in-game box score brought to you by Ford. Check out the best-selling vehicles in America. Drive one at your Tri-State Ford dealer today.
Talking about Mike Butcher back with the Halos the last 3 years. Starting pitchers have led the majors in wins, 291.
Fly ball center field. Hunter makes the catch. And a strong throw to third. We wanted to include that A-Rod at bat in there. Here is the box score. Derek Jeter with a home run and a double. The 2 home runs for Canó, a solo shot and a 2-run home run. Marcus Timms has had a good day as well. And Granderson, 2 triples here at Yankee Stadium. Not a triple-bearing ballpark like Comerica Park. So impressive to get 2 triples in one game. And he's done that for the 5th time in his career. Pitch to Canó is low. Great start. 405 on base percentage, about that. Count 2-0.
Taking both of those breaking balls. See the approach with the runner at second base. 2 curveballs early on. Obviously, with the 405 batting average, these Angel pitchers don't have to know and see that this guy's hot as a firecracker. Palmer going backwards, 2 pitches with off speed.
And a strike, count 2-1. Swisher off second to Sherroff first. 2-1 pitch. 2-2. Last time the Yankees had a 3-home run game was right here against this team. Alex Rodriguez hit 3 against the Angels on April 26th of 2005. Canó probably has another at bat after this. And all 3 were against the same pitcher, Bartolo Colon. Think about how tough that is to do, to hit 3 home runs against the same pitcher, and the pitcher would stay in the game.
No kidding.
Not too bad. Strike 3, Canó down looking. For the Yankees in the 6th, no runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 men left. We played. Brought to you by Ford. Check out the best-selling vehicles in America. Drive one at your Tri-State Ford dealer today. Not too many hits in there. Good job by the Yankees. There's a couple of walks, though, and that you don't like to see. But Hunter with a single, Matsui with the solo home run, Kendrick with a ground-out RBI, and Napoli with a single. So 3 hits for what's usually a pretty good Angel lineup against the combination of Phil Hughes and David Robertson.
It says a lot about the stuff of both Hughes and Robertson. As you say, Michael, the walks have really put the biggest blemish on Hughes' outing. Anytime you get more strikeouts than innings, it shows some degree of dominance, at least stuff-wise.
2 strikeouts for Robertson in the 6th. And he deals a fastball strike to Brandon Wood. Joe Girardi, after the home opener, when Robertson gave up the grand slam to Abreu, spoke to Robertson the next day and told him he didn't like the pitch selection. But he said the thing he likes about all of his relievers, and Al, you always tell me this, reliever has to have a short memory. They can't really fixate on the blown opportunity. They have to think about the next one. And this is the first time that Robertson's been out on the mound since that grand slam. He looks pretty good.
Well, definitely you'll hear it often, turn the page. You know, you're going to be out there, you're going to have outings where you don't like it, but the sooner you can have that short memory, as you say, Michael, and just move forward, because ultimately in the end it's about making pitches.
There's Damaso Marte.
And if you can forget about yesterday, or in his case a couple days ago, quicker, and realize, you know, learn from your mistakes, identify, you know, what you did wrong and what you did well, and then move on.
Strike three. Wood is down looking.
Just crispy. 91, 92. Out of his hand, it shoots and firm. Good carry through the zone. Perfect corner shot. You know, there's an element when you see the velocities of a major league pitcher. In the case with Robertson, he's in that low 90 range, which is hitting speed on average for major league hitters, because that's about what they see every night. But then it shoots out, and there's guys that have that, they stay close in the front side, and all of a sudden, you know, the hitters say, boy, I don't pick it up. And I think Robertson has that kind of special fastball to where the ball just jumps.
His ratio of strikeouts per 9 innings was 12.93 per 9 innings. And as Al said, second in the big leagues to Jonathan Broxton of the Dodgers, first in the American League. And it does show you can't really be a slave when judging pitchers to velocity. Because if you would look at his velocity, just look at a gun, you go 91, 92. That's not going to be a high strikeout guy, but it's a different 91, 92.
Especially after this hammer right here. Well, you know, that fastball curveball combination, Michael, is really what, you know, would get a guy defensive. And here you see Willett just looking like a hockey goalie, just trying to put the barrel on the ball, shorten his swing up to the curveball. No, fastball, foul ball. Simon thought it hit somebody. See, now that's a good call right there, Michael. Talking about, you know, smart pitches and read the bat. You know, he fouled off the pitch. He's got Willett's a little speedy guy that's not going to hit it out of the park. He's got a wide base. He fouls off the fastball away. So now instead of going with a curveball, he comes up and in to make him fight it off. And anytime you get an emergency hack like that, they're protecting the plate. He's looking for something, anything in the zone. And generally speaking, because of that approach, the curveball, you know, he's going to have a pretty good pass at it. As opposed to if he swung real hard and long foul ball late.
And the count 3-2. Robertson acquitted himself well in the postseason last year. Wiggled out of a big jam against the Minnesota Twins in the ALDS. Did a nice job. Youngster did not wilt under the pressure. 3-2. And he walks Willits.
Well, you talk about his postseason in 5 appearances, didn't give up a run. th round draft pick in 2006 out of University of Alabama.
Here's Eric Ibar. He is 0 for 2 with a walk. And the count 1-0.
Well, watch Willits. Obviously, he's a base stealer, but with 4 runs down, it's less likely to go. You're going to pick your spot.
Dribbled slowly toward first. Mark Teixeira tags out Ibar on the way by. And Willits goes to second base.
Just what Mark Teixeira has meant. Now, you see, the role for a pitcher is to go after the ball as best you can. But if you can't get it, he did it. This is that no man's land play where often you try to work on it in spring training, and it ends up being instinctive. And there's not too many guys in baseball that are better instinctively than Mark Teixeira.
Well, Robertson throws 30 pitches. His high pitch count last year was 36. Joe Girardi is going to bring in the lefty, Marte, to face Abreu. Chilly evening in the Bronx. Yankees are leading 6-2, and Joe Girardi again goes to the bullpen and brings on his left-hander Damaso Marte, and Marte will face Abreu with that runner at second. Marte has appeared in 3 games, an inning and a third, has not allowed a hit, walked 1 and struck out 1.
Well, his last outing was yesterday, finished out the 5-3 loss. Need to get him rolling, not only to get Key out, left-handed outs like Bobby Abreu. What an integral part of the Yankee bullpen through the postseason last year, Marte.
And if he's going to clip that outside corner, then a lefty has very little chance. He gets that call. And where do you go if you're a lefty? And then if he busts you inside, you're leaning out over the plate. In his lifetime, Abreu's 0 for 4 against Marte. Now he tried the breaking ball, and he nips the outside corner with it, 0-2. All right, so what's Abreu thinking now? He threw a fastball and he threw a breaking ball. Where's this one?
Well, it depends on where his fanny is. If he's stepping out bucket, yeah, you see buckling a little bit, I'd go down and away again. A little better than that. That had too much plate. If you're going to go breaking ball, you have at least 2 pitches to really be a pitcher's pitch. Let's see what down and away breaking ball looks like right here.
Taking along with you, Al, so the count 1-2.
But you make it really, Michael, the most successful lefty specialists are the ones that will exploit the outside part of the plate and then have the ability to throw inside. And if you can have that combination, it's tough to hit. All right, so now he's got the 3 breaking balls in a row, but if you're able to do, as you're saying, here's slider away, fastball away, slider away, but now not to have the hitter thinking outside, you got to be able to bust that ball inside. If nothing else, to have him honor and respect the fact that you could throw inside. And those guys are your dominant left-handers.
Let's see where he goes with this one. Again, outside. So now from 0-2, he's gone 3-2.
Well, whatever he feels comfortable with, I would think that second breaking ball that he threw. See where Bobby Abreu's front side is going to go on it. Nope.
Strike 3. So he nips the outside corner with a fastball. So good job by Marte. And Bobby Abreu now 0 for 5 lifetime against the -9, and the Yankees lead the Angels 6-2 as they try to take their third straight series. Jorge Posada will lead it off. Jorge's 0 for 3 so far tonight. Fly ball to right, ground ball to short, and ground ball to first. The umpire was holding up the game until the commercial break was fulfilled on the television side. Now we're ready. The crowd, 44,722. And I got to tell you, a lot of them are leaving, not because the game is out of hand. It's getting very, very cold there in Yankee Stadium. And it was such a beautiful day in the city that many probably didn't dress for this sort of weather. It has gotten chilly in a hurry. And there's some bad weather in the forecast over the next couple of days. This guy's braving it, though.
So long as that rain's holding off, that's a good thing.
And Posada down looking. He's ready. A little hoodie. He's got the double protection on the head. Good looking lid right there. See, you should wear that kind of hat on the Jersey Shore this summer.
Jason Mraz.
Nick Johnson is going to pinch hit now for Marcus Timms. And there's a strike. Marcus Timms was 2 for 3 while he was in there. First pitch temperature, Al, was 68 degrees. It's 56 degrees right now. So you do the math, that's a drop of 12 degrees. Winds out of the northeast at 16 miles per hour.
That's the big one. That's 16 miles an hour kicking up. Still.
Now, Nick Johnson has never had that great a success as a pinch hitter, and the reason is that he's usually started wherever he's been. He's had 23 at-bats as a pinch hitter, and he's gotten 5 hits. That's a .217 average, but still, he'll get on base. He has a .379 on-base percentage as a pinch hitter.
Which is really good to see with Marcus Timms with his 2 for 3 day. Randy Wynn won't be getting as much start time, but when you're talking about bench role players, they have to really reinvent their mindset when they're not playing often.
Along with Al Leiter, I'm Michael Kay, and you're watching Yankees baseball right here on My 9. Yankees lead the Angels 6-2. Robinson Canó with 2 home runs. Derek Jeter with a solo shot. And Phil Hughes made his first start for the Yankees, and if the bullpen holds on, he'll get his first victory of the year. There's that on-base percentage as Nick Johnson works a 6th walk as a pinch hitter. And that's going to bring up Curtis Granderson. And he's had 2 triples tonight. Now, Al told you a couple of years ago he had 23 triples. That's playing 81 games at Comerica, where I believe it's 440 to dead center field. And there's a lot of room out there. Might be 420 now. And there's just a lot of room. So he had a lot of room to run. But for him to pick up 2 triples here shows you he maximizes anything into the gap and will think about 3 all the time.
Well, what they call it? Quad 20s or more with third person to do it in Major League history. 30 doubles, 20 triples, 20 home runs, 20 stolen bases. Jimmy Rollins and Wildfire Schulte.
Wildfire. Given name was Frank, but Al knows him as Wildfire. Yankee record for triples in a game is 3. Done 3 times, and the last time by Joe DiMaggio in 1938. Now he's going to really have to hustle to get a triple there. 2 away. Moving to second is Nick Johnson. Now, when Joe DiMaggio got those 3 triples in 1938, if that was a Yankee Stadium, Yankee Stadium would yield home, triples because it was, I think, 461 to dead center. A lot of areas for the ball to roll around.
Oh, how the stadiums have changed. Think of old Tiger Stadium similar to those dimensions. Big center field area. Polo grounds, forget it, right? What was it? Same thing?
Like 480, I think.
480.
Pitch to Randy Wynn is outside. So Matt Palmer has restored some order to the proceedings for the Angels. A scoreless 6th and now trying to work through the 7th.
Yeah, Palmer really is their long man, using him. He's being used as more of that middle guy today after Scott Kazmir only going 4+. Stokes coming in to finish that 5th inning. May just end up finishing this out using one guy after Stokes. But that's the versatility of what a manager looks for in different scenarios for a bullpen to be utilized. They got that guy that can go 3 or 4 innings. Now Palmer was a starter in the minor leagues. Last year, full year, he had 13 starts, 40 games total.
Now check out his glove. I think his glove just said a closer's name. You know, they usually have their name embroidered on the glove. What does that say?
It says closer?
Oh, the Christ name. Wow. 2-2. And the count 3-2. I've never seen that.
It's a first for everything, Michael?
I guess so. Swing and a miss, and Wynn down on strikes. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We go to the 8th. Yankees 6 and the Angels 2. You're watching Yankees baseball on My 9. Seen but always heard. The new voice of Yankee Stadium, Paul Olden, speaks. Get to know the man behind the mic and his thoughts on filling some legendary shoes tonight on the Verizon Fios game wrap-up after the game on My 9 News. Marte against Torrey Hunter. And this is the little minefield that a manager sets up. You've got the lefty Abreu, then you've got Hunter, Matsui, and Morales. So you want to get him to stay with the other 2 lefties? Well, he's got to get through Hunter then. And this is where they want to make you pay. There's a strike. You never want to make it too easy for the opposing manager to just stack 3 lefties in a row. You want to throw that one switch hitter or another right-hander in there. Just make the manager make a decision.
And with the Angels, they have no lefties on the pen, and as you mentioned with Matsui and the switch hitter Kendry, there could be some mix and match in their job at Chamberlain getting ready. Good numbers from Marte against Hunter. 167, 2 for 12. One of those hits was a home run. Job will be getting ready for Howie Kendrick, I would assume, if there is a Howie.
Hit sharply and off the glove of a diving Jeter, and it trickles into center field. Torrey Hunter makes a big turn, and he'll stay right there with a leadoff single. Take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by your local Jeep dealers. Minnesota takes the first series ever at Target Field, 2 out of 3 against the Red Sox. Toronto playing well, 7-3 over the White Sox. Baltimore needs to start winning. Top of the first in Oakland. Houston does get a win finally, 5-1 over Seattle. Now 1-8. Milwaukee 8-6 over the Cubbies. 7-5 Washington over Phil. And the Mets finally get a victory. But they've lost their first 3 series for only the 5th time in the franchise history. Florida beating up on Cincinnati. Arizona and the Dodgers starting in about a minute or so. Matsui fouls it away.
Look at Toronto, Michael. Just had 2 near no hitters, Ricky Romero and Sean Markham, and trade away the great Roy Halladay. Get some offense now. I know it's only early on, but a bit of a surprise in baseball. Alex Gonzalez, 4 home runs.
Vernon Wells with 5. VO2. 1-2. And the 1-2. 2-2. Jeter used to always warn the other team when Matsui was on the team, don't bring in a lefty. Because Matsui does not seem to be neutralized by a left-handed pitcher. But if the lefty makes his pitches, he can neutralize anybody. The 2-2. Marte misses, and the count 3-2.
Well, Matsui's a good high fastball hitter because of his ability to hook a lot of pitches. That breaking ball that's flat, that stays up, he has hit hard in the past. That's why you get that downward breakaway. And he's got a good eye.
Runner goes. 3-2 is fouled back.
Matsui lifetime against Marte is 2 for 10.
.231 so far this year against lefties, .304 against righties. .3-2. He doesn't go that time, and that one's lofted into left field. Coming on is Wynn, and he can't make the play. That Wynn must have blown the ball away from Wynn, because I think he thought he had a shot.
Yeah, I did too. I think that ball was normally would have been hit further out. Randy Wynn playing normal depth, but just dropping in there. Initially off the bat, I think Randy Wynn thought maybe it had more distance.
Jeter warned him, don't bring in lefties. So here's Kendry Morales. And there's the strike.
Let's take a look at the scout report. Omar Linares. Kendry Morales was 19 years old when he played for the Cuban national team. First time since the great Omar Linares did it in the 1980s. And then team MVP last year. He was 5th in the American League. What a year he had. And he gets pull catch. He likes to pull.
That could be a double play. Let's see if they turn it. There's one. On to first. No. Jeter held on to the ball. So Morales hits in the 4-6 fielder's choice.
Said about pull conscious, pitchers try to throw him away, especially soft. And here's an example of an outside pitch. Instead of driving the ball, you see his front side leaking a little bit. Nice little ground ball, just wasn't hit hard enough to get the double play. Watch his front side open up a little bit there, trying to find a hole.
Well, that's going to do it for Marte. And jogging in from the bullpen, Jabba Chamberlain. We're Mariano and Jackie Robinson's number. Crowd thinning out here at Yankee Stadium as it's getting a bit chillier, but it's getting hot here in the 8th inning as the Angels have runners on first and third with one out, and the Yankees go to their setup guy, Jabba Chamberlain, setting up for Mariano Rivera. This is his 5th game so far this year, 5 hits in 4 innings, 4 strikeouts.
Pitched in yesterday's ball game. Scoreless inning, giving up a hit and strikeout.
Howie Kendrick 0 for 3, but he has driven in a run with a ground ball. Torrey Hunter is at third. Kendry Morales is at first. Swing and a miss.
Good snap. Now that slider right there getting ahead of Howie Kendrick. This breaking ball, watch his velocity in this appearance here. Seeing how the combination between the fastball slider, which is what he resorted to as a reliever.
Strike. And the count 0-2.
Good quick break on that slider there. When it comes out of his hand and it looks like a fastball, and you see the break at the very end, it's sharp, good velocity to it. Going back to it again.
Right back to Chamberlain. Goes the second one on to first. Double play! Chamberlain turns into a 1-6-3 double play. The ground ball back to the mound. Good job by Jabba. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and One man left on base. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Yankees lead 6-2. Yankees lead the Angels 6-2, 6-9-0, leading 2-5-0. And the new pitcher for the Angels making his major league debut is Francisco Rodriguez. And that's what he did last year at AAA Salt Lake. 67 hits and 77 and a third, 60 strikeouts, 40 walks. Now in spring training, they were calling him K-Rod because that's Francisco Rodriguez with the Mets and used to be with the Angels, but they felt, well, you know what, that's not fair to him. K-Rod is a great pitcher, and they stopped calling him K-Rod, so he's just Francisco Rodriguez now.
Yeah, it'd be pretty big to follow in those footsteps. Same organization.
And what a way to break into the big leagues. Derek Jeter, Nick Swisher, and Mark Teixeira are the top of the Yankee order. Derek, a home run and a double, 2 for 4 today. Sandwiched those 2 hits with 2 strikeouts. It's a strike. Yankees and the Angels have always played very, very tough games. And there aren't teams that have winning records in baseball since the Yankees started this new dynasty in 1996. That one is grounded to third. Wood will get Jeter. In fact, since 96, including the playoffs, the Angels are 82-70 against the Yankees.
Well,
pretty good.
Well, I think he has a lot to do with it. Having a good organization behind him and creating an atmosphere of the fundamental baseball and the sound way in which they've done it for several years, right up through the minor leagues. I remember Bobby Meacham, who was a coach here for a little while, talking about when he managed in the minor leagues, and Scioscia wanted all the minor league managers to call in and say how many guys would go from first to third in a minor league game. It didn't matter, rookie ball, A ball, just to stress and really accentuate the point of aggressive baseball right through the entire system. And it was a statistic that they would have to actually call in.
Foul back, 1-1. 1-1 to Swisher. Count 1-2. Nick tonight is 0 for 3 and a walk. And the 1-2 pitch. 2-2.
Good take right there from the tight curveball from Rodriguez. And you talk about every team in baseball talks about winning series, and so far the Yankees have won 2. And ideally, of course, you'd like to get on a streak and sweep some clubs and on that kind of roll. But you win series, you're going to win 108 games. You're able to win 67% of your games.
2-2. And the count 3-2. Three-two pitch. Driven deep to center field. Going back, Torrey Hunter. Wins holding that one in the ballpark. And Hunter runs it down. That was clubbed by Swisher. But the wind is just blowing straight in and held it into the ballpark.
Well, that's 2 balls, Michael. His second at bat, same thing. And I think this really got held up. It has enough hang time. Center field, pretty much straight away. Slight little right center field. Torrey Hunter getting it tracked. 2 balls well struck in normal nights. That would have been 2 home runs.
Here's Mark Teixeira, 0 for 1 with 3 walks. Popped up and out of play.
Boy, you were talking, Michael, about, to get some silver lining out of the game. And, with 3 walks, you mentioned about, at least you're tracking it, you're seeing the ball, which is a start, right? I mean, you gotta be able to find something out of it. And certainly by being able to see the ball strike and identify it like that, that's a good take. There's little things within the game, even though maybe you don't show it with hits or batting average going up, you have a good approach and carry it into the next game.
Count 2-2. So Francisco Rodriguez's major league debut on the biggest stage in baseball here at Yankee Stadium. He's retired the first 2 Yankees. And he's worked the count to 3-2 on Teixeira.
Pretty cool. You're right. At Yankee Stadium. Never forget this moment.
And the 3-2 pitch. Fouled away. Angels have the shift on for Teixeira. 3 guys on the right side of the infield.
You have played deep.
And the 3-2. He struck him out. So an impressive first inning for Francisco Rodriguez as the Yankees go down in order. And we go to the top of the 9th inning. Yankees lead the Chamberlain will try to close it out here at the stadium against the Angels. Yankees are leading 6-2. Trying to take this series 2-1. And it'll be the bottom third of the order against Chamberlain. And the pitch outside. That's how it's broken down so far. 6 runs on 9 hits for the Yanks, 2 on 5 for the Angels. Java came in with 2 runners on base, which means that the tying run was on deck, so he would get a save if he gets these 3 outs here in the 9th inning. And how apropos that he would save the game for Phil Hughes, who beat him out for the 5th starter spot. And Java has 1 career save. And there's a strike. Along with Al Leiter, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball here on My 9. Yankees lead 6-2. 3-1. 3-2.
You see those velocities in that low 90 range. As the time goes on, he's had that first appearance up in Boston where he was popping some mid-90s. I'm going to watch that, see where his velocity will be.
That one he overthrows, and he ends up walking Napoli. Tonight after the game, he's rarely seen but always heard. The new voice of Yankee Stadium, Paul Olden, speaks. Get to know the man behind the mic and his thoughts on filling some legendary shoes tonight on the Verizon Fios game wrap-up after the game on My 9 News. And there's Paul. Hello, Paul.
Get some bigger binoculars, Paul.
Mariano Rivera gets up, and that's what this trip to the mound is all about, just to give him some throws. In order for it to be a safe situation for Mo, there has to be 2 runners on. Closer gets a save with a 3-run lead in the 9th inning if he gets 3 outs. You can get a save by pitching 3 innings. You can get a save if you finish the game and at one point in the game you come on and the tying run is on deck. So those are the ways you can pick up the save.
Well, this is where Mariano, obviously, has done it so many years and best in the business, to play along and pitch along with it, realizing the scenario plays out, it'll start heating up with more force, as opposed to right now, he's just getting his arm loose. Not ideal. You're in a non-closing situation. Certainly, Java could get this save without having Mariano come in.
There's that nasty slider. So 94-mile-an-hour fastball, the 84-mile-an-hour slider.
So now that, when he gets that disparity, Mike, and the velocity's up, it makes the slider so much tougher to hit. His first at bat, for Napoli, was just in that 90-91 range. Hitters don't really have to honor it as much.
Grounded foul.
There you see Java upset with that slider. Now the previous slider much better. Here he was overthrowing it and has less of a spin, almost like a backup. And here, pitcher say it was almost like a cement mixer where it doesn't actually break, spins and stays on the inside part of the plate. Now the slider.
The 0-2. Nasty slider. Wood swings over it one way.
Difference for Java, not overthrowing and allowing to work on the front side. Looks like a fastball. See Wood just flailing at it. Once he commits, he's just hoping he gets a little nick of it. Perfect.
Here's Reggie Willits, 0 for 1 with 2 walks. He struck out in the 5th. Count 1-0.
Reggie Willett's dad, a big Reggie Jackson fan, named him after Reggie. Reggie has a sister, Wendy, who was a WNBA basketball player, won the title with the LA Sparks. An athletic family.
The Willits family also very big Mickey Mantle fans, and that's why Willits' regular number is 77, to honor Mickey Mantle. Rodriguez in on the grass at third, the 2-0. There's a strike. Here's the number 77. High fly ball center field. Curtis Granderson will make the play, and the Yankees are 1 out away from a win.
Just the association for Willits, Oklahoma boy, went to the University of Oklahoma, Fort Cobb, Oklahoma.
That's the home state of Mr. Mantle. Here's Eric Ibar. And the 1-0. Upstairs 2-0. So job of not locating the way he'd want to. He seems to be able to throw a strike when he has to, but when he's setting the hitter up, he's falling behind 2-0, it seems, all the time.
Now, with him pitching yesterday and out today, I can't imagine him being available tomorrow. And it's a matter of making pitches, and you want to obviously minimize your pitch count so you give you an opportunity to pitch again. But also, too, just to, you want to get in rhythm. You want to feel comfortable about what you're doing, and obviously a lot is going through his mind now, being back in the pen and as a setup guy to Mariano, and trying to find his velocity and just the feel, getting back to where he was a couple years ago as a dominant setup guy.
The 2-1, and now the Yankees are 1 strike away from a win. Yankees took 2 out of 3 to open the season at Fenway. They went to St. Pete. They took 2 out of 3 there against the Rays. And now in their first series at home against the American League West champion Angels, they're a strike away from taking 2 out of 3 here. Rounded up the middle and under the glove of Jeter into center field. So that keeps the game alive as Jeter had the play, but it trickled under his glove. So I think they'll call that a base hit for Eric Ibar. And they do, and that's going to force Joe Girardi to bring in Mariano Rivera. That's a play that the ball did not come up the way Derek thought it would. So it's a safe situation now for Mo as Jabba departs. You come on back. in the big leagues is Mariano Rivera. When they retired the number 42 all around the big leagues, there were 11 players wearing it at that time. It was grandfathered in. If you had it, you didn't have to give it up. Mariano's the last one standing. The other 10, Mo Vaughn, Butch Husky, Scott Carl, Lenny Webster, Mike Jackson, Tom Gordon, Dennis Cook, Kirk Reeder, Buddy Groom, Jose Lima, Jason Schmidt, and Mariano Rivera. And on Jackie Robinson Day, Mariano Rivera can come in and get the final out and nail down the save as the last man allowed to wear number 42, except on this day when every man wears 42. And the pitch to Abreu is high. The 1-0. Missed inside, 2-0. Abreu 1 for 3 lifetime against Rivera. And a strike.
Well, how special on a day for Mariano, the last guy, as you say, Michael, potentially close this game out. Wearing the great Jackie Robinson's number, and just to hear Mariano express what an honor it is, it's something special.
And he does get the save on this day. Canó makes the play. Ball game is over, and the Yankees win this one 6-2. In the 9th inning, no runs, a hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. And the Yankees take the series 2-1 from the Angels. Phil Hughes with the victory. A home run for Jeter, 2 home runs for Robinson Canó, the man who's named after Robinson, or Jackie Robinson, and Curtis Granderson with 2 triples. And including the postseason, the Yankees are now 9-4 in the last 13 games against the Angels. And the Yankees have now won 12 of their last 15 series at the new stadium. So much more to come on My 9. Stay right here.